Hello, everyone. Can you hear me now? Working on my camera. And there's Jason. Jason.
What's going on, Thomas?
It was going good. I had my camera going, and now I finally got it back, so I can work on my project. We're both working on track.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to make more racket than you are.
I don't know. My filing's pretty bad. So.
Well, I don't know. I'm playing with this, so.
Oh, all right. Hammer away. Hello, Kyle. Hello, Ron. Thank you, guys. Thanks for being patient. I'm going to build Robert's scale track here. He saw Jason's and he wanted one too. So we'll do some track building tonight. If anyone has questions about switches or turnout, or you can ask Jason too. He's got really nice track work. Cutting out the PC ties now.
Speaking of turnouts, I'm going to be putting one of these in.
Ooh. Is that the Shunahara one, or is that?
It's a Pico.
Oh, okay.
Yep, putting in a three-way.
Yeah, they were talking last night that you can't get their turnouts anymore. It's like
Really?
backlog. Yeah, they're just backlogged.
Dang, that stinks.
Yeah. Well, I think it's all the delivery stuff, you know.
Well, I finally saw where one of the online hobby shops, has got NCE power caps back in stock.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I know a lot of people were waiting on that to come back in. So I don't know if there's still anybody else waiting or not, but Iron Planet Hobbies had a few in stock.
Yeah. Nisi, I don't know what you've heard, but you know, Jason and I can tell you that that a three-way is worth it. I mean,
Absolutely.
So.
Well, and I put in. You're not going to be able to see it, but I've got a single slip down there, and then I've got a double slip over here off to the side.
It gets tricky sometimes with DCC. So
yeah. Well, the thing you got to remember is a three-way, a single slip, and a double slip is like two turnouts put into one.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
Yeah.
You know, because both of them's got two sets of points and two throw bars and two sets of frogs.
Yeah. You got to isolate them and power them. And
now, what's nice about the Picos? Now, it's a Insel frog, but they've already got the wire. I don't know if you can see that very well. But they've got the wires already ran underneath the frogs.
Yeah, that'd be the Insel frog. It's okay.
Yeah. And then as far as like the frogs themselves, I know I don't have the best lighting on this section of track that I'm at, but you can see where they barely put a small piece of plastic in the middle of the frog. So it's not like the old Atlas turnouts where the whole frog was plastic.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can light over.
So what's the Electro frog then?
I don't know if they make the three-way in the Electro frog. I know they make some of the regular turnouts in the Electro frogs. But the Electro frogs basically have it to where there's solder connections under the frog, so you can solder wires up to it for like a frog juicer.
Okay.
Where these, you don't do that.
Creepy, hello from the outback.
And of course, I'm not going to be able to see the chat because I'm on mobile.
Okay, we'll make Nisi the chat monitor, or Roy or somebody.
Yeah, we'll have to get one of them up here.
Yeah. I had a full house the other day. That was fun with all you guys looking up U50 stuff. Learned a lot that show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't feel like laying any track down that night, so. But, man, I'll tell you one thing. Laying this cork roll down is easier said than done.
Right. And I think track is one of those things that if you don't feel like doing it, don't do it.
No, because you'll just get frustrated.
Right.
And I'll tell you, I'm one that if I feel like putting track down, especially if it's like, using, the cork like this, where it rips in half, I can like track down quick.
Right.
But it's like working with the roll of cork, for multiple tracks. It takes me a little longer because you want to make sure that roll cork is all smoothed out.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never had any luck with that. I get all the air bubbles and crap like that.
It's great for like if you got a lot of tracks close together, like a yard.
Yeah.
Because then the tracks actually help hold it down. But like once I get all the track and stuff laid here, then I will come back with an X-Acto knife and kind of cut areas out. Especially if I have a building going there, because I want the building on more of a solid foundation. So I'll come back in with like masonite and do that. And then while I got you on here, I'll show you a little trick. If you save your pill bottles, they're great containers for things such as track nails, track spikes, rail joiners, even the plastic ones too.
Yep, I agree. I like those for modeling. I'll hot glue, like when I'm painting a figure, like nitro scale people, I'll stick them on there with tape or something on a pill bottle so I have a handle.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so I like all of
that. And then the other good ones is empty paper towel rolls, because those are great. So I'll put like a boxcar shell on it when I get ready to do my weathering, especially like spraying like clear coats and stuff. Because with the empty paper towel roll, it fits right in the shelf perfectly for HO, and it gives you a good handle, and you don't have to worry about getting paint all over your hands.
I see. We're sticking it up inside there and stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
I follow you now. I see what you're cooking now. Some sort of straight edge.
Well, when I cook, I use straight propane. The best way. All right. And I guess what makes this even more tricky is all this cork I've recycled from the previous layout.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sometimes you got to let that go.
Well, like this one, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's got a hole here, a hole there, hole, 2 holes, and a hole. And that's when I had this. I think this was like a yard ladder at one point. But I felt like for the industrial area, it shouldn't be too terrible. And it's on the upper deck, so it's not like you're really going to be able to see it.
You guys are talking about an eclipse. We got astronauts in here.
Well, I know I saw a full moon earlier tonight.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And the first thought that came to my mind was, I bet my wife is glad she's not working at the hospital anymore on night shift.
It does affect people, doesn't it? It just.
Oh, she said those are the worst nights. Dude and
Drew Dudes, welcome.
5/8. 2 and 5/8. Out there.
If I can get Split Rock to check the basement. Wait a minute here.
So we got someone in the basement.
Oh, there she is. There's our princess.
Hey.
Hey, how do I just turn off the Facebook? How do I
You mean the YouTube?
Yeah, how do I turn the audio off?
I'll just hit the mute button.
Oh, where do I hit mute? Yeah.
Where's Heath when we need him?
I know, right?
I'm so confused. I did this last time.
Yeah, I know. I always forget too easy.
It's not. I can't mute it.
Turn off Facebook, all of it. Okay.
Just X out?
Well, this shouldn't be on Facebook.
I mean YouTube. Okay, I got it. Jeez Louise. Okay, I have questions. I have questions for you and Jason.
All right, we're here to answer.
Hey,
Okay.
ask me no questions. I tell you no lies.
Okay, lie to me,
No,
lie
let's
to me,
still
lie
lie
to
to
me.
Make you write bad checks.
Okay. Oh, I already did that. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so I'm going from my old layout was plywood. So I literally did what you're doing, where I was nailing my track down to the roadbed, which went into the plywood. Now I have foam board as my whatever you call it that I'm
Okay,
laying
that's your
track.
base.
So how do I do I just use like wood glue to glue this stuff down? And how
Not to foam. Not to foam. You can do. I would probably suggest silicone, like silicone caulk.
silicock? Can you paint it or something? Is that why?
Yeah. Well, you'll cover it up with ballast eventually.
Right.
Yeah, you'll cover it up. So you want clear. You don't want the white. So just like you can go to the paint department at like Lowe's or Home Depot or Menards
Okay.
and get caulking in a tube.
Yeah.
But you want the silicone.
Silicone. Okay. And then my next question, which I'm really stressed about, is gluing the track down. What do I use for that so that I don't have glue coming up between the wood?
That's what you use the silicone for.
Oh, the same stuff. And just
Yeah.
like a tiny amount and it'll work?
No.
Like,
Well, put a line down where you want the rail to go.
yeah.
And then get like a flat spatula from a hardware and
Oh,
smooth
like
it
a putty?
out.
Like a putty knife?
Like a putty
Yeah.
knife and smooth it out the width or farther than the track.
Okay.
And then put your track in. If you're doing curves, maybe get some thumbtacks, through the
Right.
holes to hold it.
Right.
And then while it's gluing, some weight. And I will tell you this, in HO scale, soup cans are the greatest weight to put on
Okay.
track.
Okay.
They fit right on there.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Chris from Go Via Go Home does. He puts the soup cans on there for weight.
Okay.
And every time I watch his video, he makes me hungry because it's spaghetti.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, the HO track, that's going to be easy. But with the N scale, trying to weigh that down, I don't even freaking know.
Same thing.
Roy
Soup-
would know.
Soup
Ken,
cans really
Ken.
stick it on the track. Okay.
Yeah.
What kind
Yeah,
of what N scale track are you using?
The N scale, I think, is Pico. For some reason, I think it's Pico.
So you're using Flex Track.
Flex track, yeah.
Flex track, yeah, same thing. If you're using Flex, you're going to want that silicone as a glue.
Okay.
Because if you ever do need to pull it out, you're less likely to have damage than actually using glue.
Yeah.
It gives you that little bit of flexibility.
Okay.
I'm one of those that I don't do the foam, and that's because I don't like using any word called glue, because if I need to make a change, then I end up destroying something. But that's just my personal preference. I always use the nails.
Yeah.
It's much easier to pop out a nail, make an adjustment, nail it back in than, trying to do the glue thing. So
Yeah. I found that out because I had glued some foam board together, and
Mhm.
I needed to make an adjustment, and that shiza is like concrete.
Yeah.
So some of those that I know that do the foam board and glue is Robert Flying Crow. So he would be a good one to ask. John Arthur. I don't know if you follow
John
him.
Arthur, he does a seaboard.
He does the Seaboard. He's a good friend
Yeah,
of
he's
mine as
another
well.
seaboard.
Yeah, he's the Sal guy.
Yeah, he is in the process of moving his layout into his garage and making it bigger.
Yeah, the last video I saw on him, he was trying to figure out that window and if he was going to put an AC unit in there or if he was going to seal that off or what.
He's got the AC unit in. It's up high, so he found a way to put it at the top of the window and not the bottom, which looks odd, but
but it
it
works.
works for him.
Okay.
So,
and then I have another question. I'm sorry. I feel like rapid fire, but
don't be sorry.
I'm so excited. I was so excited. I'm like, yes, these guys. Okay, so I have a small tunnel portal that I built myself to put on top of the N-scale wall.
okay.
And I painted portals to put on each end of it. So I plaster cloth over the top. How do I glue those portals onto the thing? Can I use Sculptamold because I need to build that up a little bit to make it so I can put Sculptamold and then smush them into it? Okay.
So what I've done in the past, and I can send you pictures. Like, did you see the tunnel portals that Sparky just got a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, he opened them on the live.
Yeah, so those were mine. I actually gave those to him because I'm not needing them. So, and those are double track portals, but he needed something that was wide enough that his GoPro could go through on a single track.
Great.
So that's what I sent to him. So mine, I never glued them in, or I never glued the one in. But what I ended up doing was taking some balsa wood, or you could take styrene, and put at the bottom to kind of make it look like you have like a concrete pad for your tunnel portals to go on. That will help raise it up a little.
Okay.
And then what I did was I put the portals in first and then the plaster cloth after it. So it looked like the portals wasn't sticking out from the mountain. They were built into the mountain.
More natural looking.
Right.
Okay. All right. And then
you can attach them with some liquid nails too, some caulking.
Yeah.
You know,
You can do that.
And then you Sculptamold and fill in. That's what I do. Or that, if you watch that, my florist foam scenery, that spackle is so nice to work with. I mean, it's like spreading frosting on a cake.
Do you have a lot of cracking or anything like that with it? Because I'm like paranoid down here with that. Okay. Okay, because I was worried about that. And then the other thing would be is, again, with the Sculptamold, I have to, after I did plaster cloth in that tunnel, I realized when you look at it, it looks like a freaking square. So it's just flat. So I was thinking with Sculptamold, I could build it up, make it look more bumpy.
Yeah.
Can I just do it like Play-Doh, like clay, you just mush it and make it rocky?
Yeah.
Or do I need to ball up paper and stuff like that and put it on top of the paper? Okay.
No, there's so many different. It's like, how many different ways are there to skin a cat? I mean, It's the same way with your tunnels. The one trick is when you put in a tunnel portal, you definitely want a lot of mountain or rock above it.
So it's dug out of the rock.
Yeah, otherwise the railroad wouldn't have put a tunnel in. They would just made a cut.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and that was one of the things I had to learn was, got to keep building up, build up. And like I said, I can send you some pictures of 2 layouts ago, because that's when it was done.
Yeah.
I can send them to your email just to kind of give you a look of what I did.
Yes, please, because I'd like to. I'm like a visual.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. There's no scenery on it, so it
Oh
looks
no,
like
it's fine.
snow. But you know,
No. I just want to. I want to know like the basic, like what's underneath it.
yeah,
'Cause, like I'm really frustrated with it. And then Split Rock, you said, because I bought for my model build, I bought primer, and even though I wrote it down that I needed matte, I bought gloss, and then I painted a spot on it, and it came out really glossy, and I was like, crap, can I put acrylic paint on that, or is it gonna peel off? So
You can paint anything on gloss. I mean, it's still going to stick. The only thing you don't want to do on gloss is like do weathering powders, things like that. The final, when you're going to go do the weathering, you want to have the dull for a tacky finish for those powders and other things to stick to.
okay, so the powder would go on top of the acrylic. Fine, it would stay on the acrylic paint.
A dull coat after your acrylic.
yeah.
Oh, I need to get dull coat.
Yeah.
To seal it all in, right?
Well, that's the last clear coat.
So always work in layers. So anytime you do something, whether you're weathering like tunnel portals or like rolling stock, always do each one in layers. So that way, if you mess up and you have to clean off what you worked on, it only cleans off that top layer. So clear coat between every single thing you do.
Okay. I didn't even think about that. All right. Cool.
But sometimes that muddies up your finish too.
Yeah.
It can.
But I mean, as you're experimenting with weathering, if you like what you did, just put a coating on it.
Okay. Alrighty. All right. And now I'm thinking about that 3-way.
For the switches, yeah.
Yeah.
And I should show you how I did my. There's a tunnel on my layout too, Nisi. I should show you how I did mine. So
Yeah.
because I just use that foam and that spackle, and I even put in where my railroad goes. It's hard granite, so they have to drill.
Right.
They drill down all these holes in a row. They put dynamite and they blast off a chunk of the rock.
Yeah.
And if you look at the tunnels up in northern Minnesota, you can see all those marks. I put all those drill marks in there because I used that spackle, and then I took like a nail and made an embedment while it's still soft.
Cool. Yeah.
And then when it dried, then you can paint it a different color and stuff. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I used if you Google Silver Cliff Mine in Silver Cliff Tunnel in northern Minnesota, you'll see all that. But yeah, you can just your tunnel portal. You can get the wet, sculpt the mold or putty or whatever, and then push it in.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm used to seeing that in Missouri. You see all of those.
Oh yeah. Yeah, tunnels are tricky if you don't have an approach. There's very few tunnels that just go right into a cliff, but it does happen.
Yeah.
I've seen them on the Milwaukee Road and some other ones.
Cool.
But yeah, tunnels are a fun addition because you get to hide stuff.
Well, even right up, I just came across this the other day because there's another YouTuber. His name is Manshed. And it comes to find out, he actually lives closer to me than any other YouTuber, which I think is really cool. So me and him are going to try to meet up sometime.
Oh, that's cool.
But he lives in Conway, Arkansas, which is just northwest of Little Rock, so it's very central Arkansas. I had no clue there was a tunnel there. And basically there's like a small ridge that the railroad just cuts right through it. And then on the top of the ridge is a road. And I had no clue. I wouldn't even thought
there's anything there.
Really right there.
Nice.
But you mentioned Missouri. What part of Missouri were you from?
I'm not. My dad was from Arnold, Missouri.
Okay.
It's just outside of St. Louis. So
Okay.
I spent a lot of Christmases in Arnold.
So that's kind of a flat area, right?
No, sir. My grandparents literally lived in a valley, and their house was on the side of a mountain, and their backyard was a terrace. And there was
Okay.
tornadoes. Like the tornado actually went down through the valley.
Oh, yeah.
You needed what do you call the things you put on your tires for snow? You needed chains because our Javelin back in the 70s and 80s couldn't get out of there sometimes at Christmas time because it was
wow.
just straight up and down. And what Split Rock was talking about with the all along the highway up there, you could see where they drilled down with those long lines. I didn't realize what those were until years later, that was where they were dynamiting the rocks so they could put the roads in.
Oh, wow. So I've never been up to St. Louis, so I don't really know what the terrain is there. Now, I've been in Southwest Missouri, which is, Branson, Springfield, and it's pretty hilly there. And I know you've got the Missouri and North Arkansas Railroad, which used to be Mopac back in the day. And there's a couple of tunnels. If you go to Branson and ride the Ozark Zephyr, it actually goes through a couple of tunnels. I did a video on it. It's actually one of my most watched videos. And on the way back, we got to ride in the dome car, so I got some really good video footage of coming into the tunnels.
Sweet. That's sweet. I was in the Ozarks, like when I was a kid. I don't remember much. I just know I was there. Yeah.
Well, and like Kansas City Southern, their only tunnel out of all of their tracks is in West Arkansas.
Oh, wow.
So, but, there's a lot of cuts in that area too, and that's because the hill wasn't tall enough to, put in a tunnel, so they just cut the rock out. So it's like you're going through a stretch of hill, and the top of the hill is like the same height as the top of the passenger car.
Oh, that's weird.
So yeah, you could be like on the edge and jump on the roof if you wanted to, as it was going.
That is wild.
So
really cool. I see Ken gave me a good tip that before I turn the power on, I should remove the soup cans from the track.
Yeah.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Ask him how he knows that. So.
Oh, asking for a friend.
Yeah. Hey, Ken, is that a voice of experience there? Is that Ken missed our podcast recording tonight, but we had a good one anyway. So.
Yeah, I kept saying Facebook, and I meant
YouTube. Yeah.
YouTube.
We know.
I didn't know. I just figured it out.
So you got a tunnel in your scene then, and then the track.
Right.
I highly recommend getting the track in and running before you do scenery. Ballast and scenery is highly overrated. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I just put the first base color on the rock wall itself, and I painted the masonite, the lighter blue shade for the sky, and then I want to do the paint some quick trees on it, and I've got the road bed down and straight and glued down, I think, and next will be the track. I'm not doing any scenery anytime soon. I just want to get the basic stuff done.
No, that should be good.
Yeah, but I wanted to get some of the stuff started because I didn't think about reach when I was planning the wall, and now I'm kind of sorry about some of the reaching that I have to do.
Oh yeah, reaching and duck unders and all that.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time on a step stool reaching way over.
Yeah, that's too much. Yeah.
So
well, the other thing keep in mind is always work from the back to the front.
Yeah. So you don't break the crap in the front.
Pretty much. So the very first thing you should do scenery-wise is your backdrop.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on basically, because the N-scale wall is basically the backdrop for the HO table, and the backdrop for the N-scale wall is just a 8-foot section that I'm painting the sky on. And I don't really need the tunnel. It's more gratuitous because I just want it, so I threw it up there.
Well, and some railroads didn't even use tunnel portals. They just blasted rock out, and that was it.
Yikes. There's like a tunnel somewhere that I just saw a documentary on that they haven't used for almost like 100 years because it flooded or something. And so the engine is and some passenger cars are still in it, and they like sealed it up, and it's like a memorial or something, and I don't remember what state that's in.
I know I remember hearing about some of the tunnels out in the Appalachians that had like a water trough in the middle of it for, because it had like a spring inside of it, and they didn't notice it till after, they're boring the tunnel out. So they put in a trough in there, and there was these steam locomotives that had on their tenders, they had a scoop. And so as they went into the tunnel, they would drop the scoop, and that's how they refilled the tender as they're going through the tunnel.
Nice.
I cannot remember what railroad that was.
This is
but maybe
good.
some chat knows.
Poor Dan's model railroading journey. He first was trying to type Sculptamold, and instead it came out Sculpt. I'm old.
I know, Sculptamold comes out. I'm old.
Sculptamold.
Yeah.
So could I just rent you guys to come do my track?
Well, if we get to come to Florida in the winter, yes.
Hey, I'm definitely not going to say no. I looked at it as a.
You live in a warm state anyway, so.
I know, and then it's like, what happened back in February was like the unthinkable.
Yeah, you guys got hammered with snow. That was insane.
I mean, before February, the past 3 years, past 36 months, no doubt, we had an accumulative of 1 inch of snow.
Wow.
And then in the whole month of February, we get 10.5 inches in a week and a half. And I know there's, the states up north and the Northeast, they're used to it. They get hammered every year. I mean,
Yeah,
we
but
don't get hammered.
Yeah, that's different. I mean, I remember when I was a kid and we got like 1 inch of snow, 2 inches of snow, and it shut down everything. Like you didn't go to school, nobody went to work, everybody was freaking out. It was melted by 7 a.m. Kyle Stevens says that
I love hearing you guys tell snow stories.
Yeah, my one snow story in Florida. Kyle Stevens said that New York Central did the water scooping on their route also.
Yeah.
Which railroad?
New York Central?
Yeah.
Okay, so it might have been them. I know it was somewhere northeast. No, like we get ice more than we get
ice. Yeah, we can get ice.
And so, that's one thing. But, it's bad when, the Postal Service's motto is,
rain,
or
snow.
shine. Yeah, rain or shine. We're going to get you your mail to you.
No, they're not.
And the Postal Service shut down.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I live in Florida, Kyle. Sunshine State.
Are you near Jacksonville or no?
I'm Central Florida.
Oh, Central. Okay.
Yeah. I'm like 20 minutes from Steve Childers.
So Central Florida, is that where the mouse is? Is that what you guys consider?
Yeah, Central, like the mouse is like dead center of the state.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you haven't been over to Steve's to run trains?
No, not yet.
He might be too busy showing you his koi.
They're cool though. They're giant, cool looking fish.
Boy, he's big in that koi. Nothing wrong with it.
No, he just went to like some convention for it. I think he was like a judge.
Yeah.
I miss seeing him on Heath's Monday show all the time. He was like a fixture, you know. He was like,
I know.
Kyle,
No
you've
one
been
wants
getting
to
hit
do
with
that.
those hurricanes, my friend. All those hurricanes have been going your way.
yeah,
That sucks.
you can have the hurricanes. We'll take our tornadoes.
No,
You can have them.
No.
Goddamn hurricanes.
at least with a hurricane, you can prepare. Well, I say you do all this
Yeah.
preparation, then the storm hits, and you're like, "Damn it, I forgot this."
No, like a hurricane, y'all got days to evacuate and seek shelter.
Yeah, tornado just kind of comes up out of nowhere and just destroys everything in sight.
We
Well,
had
that's
we had an EF1 come through right through where I work about a month ago, and it was pretty gnarly
Yeah,
because where I work at, it's in an old grocery store, and so tall ceilings and things like that. It's I mean, it was shaking the lights. That were hanging
no.
from rafters.
Yeah, no. We've only had a couple of scares here, knock on wood, with tornadoes, so I'll take the
Yeah,
hurricane.
Drew, you can keep those earthquakes too. I don't want any of that either.
Yeah, I don't. Earthquakes freak me out.
Well, Missouri and Oklahoma had earthquakes yesterday.
Yeah, it was like a 3.7, I think it was.
Yeah. On the New Madrid fault line.
Was that whose fault? Was that Heath's fault? Whose fault were you saying?
Oh, it's absolutely his fault. Absolutely.
I don't want to deal with a snowstorm. I think I'll take the hurricane.
Snow's kind of fun. You get out there with the snow thrower and knock it around.
Yeah, I got my fill of the whole shoveling snow and salting the driveway, and I just and the whole black ice situation and slush. It's like snow's real pretty when it first falls, and then it's just nasty, dirty.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I always amuse the neighbors because I put on one of those inflatable Tyrannosaurus Rex costumes my wife got me. I go snow through all the sidewalks. I go up and down the sidewalks with that. And just...
Well, I think what made Snowmageddon so rough for us was, having to go out to the shed to go get firewood because they were doing the rolling blackout. So
Yeah, the grid.
our main heat source was wood, and we were just going through wood like quick.
Yeah.
And I've got one of those garden wagons, and that's what I go and grab like a big bundle of wood at a time. And trying to pull that thing through, that thick of snow that was packed.
Yeah.
That wore me out.
Yeah, I hear you, Train Fan. For here, like that's the opposite here because we're pretty much prepared. Like our freezer is got like a bunch of ice in it. We don't defrost our freezer until after hurricane season. So basically, the last hurricanes we've had, that freezer's still rock solid for days afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
Inflated with hot air. Yeah. It's inflated with some air. I won't go into that. It's being mean to me. All right.
I see you guys have the track cutters. Is a track cutter the same thing as a sprue cutter, or are they two different animals?
Two different animals.
Okay.
You wanna...
Because they look the same.
They do. But you want the orange-handled ones, these Xuron ones, and you do not want to use these on anything else.
Oh, okay.
These are made for cutting soft metal like the rails. So don't cut wire or don't cut anything because it'll actually take a bite out of the teeth.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't have a lot of luck cutting with those. It seems like I mangle the track when I use them.
You
Okay,
have to
so
cut from top to bottom, not side to
So-
side.
So how do you hold it in your hand?
Well, if I got a piece of rail here.
I say I'm the opposite. I'll do mine like this and cut side to side.
Okay.
Yeah, no, if you cut it, everything, even the instructions tell you to cut it from top to bottom, and you'll get a really nice cut. Side
Okay.
to side, you'll end up with a point of the rail like this.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what this is for.
The file.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Drew, not anything other than track, but that's why you hide these from the kids or anybody else using crafts. Because I always thought, oh, they're a cutter, I'll use them, and they're not built for much other than this soft rail.
Yeah. Yeah, mainly nickel silver. It doesn't really do good on brass.
Yeah, the soft nickel silver rail. Yeah, Dremel's good for cutting tools. Their eye protection.
Yeah.
That you can get a hobby saw as well. I used it.
I have a hobby saw.
I never had luck cutting track with a saw. I had zero luck.
Maybe I put that dude back up.
On the Dremel tool, what disc do you use for cutting? Is there a special disc that you need to use for that?
If you're just cutting general rail, you can use any disc,
Okay.
but be careful because cut it before you put the track on, otherwise you'll end up with a gap.
Right, right.
The width of that tool. I have these uber thin little cutoff wheels I buy that jewelers use.
Right.
You know, like if you were going to take your ring in to be enlarged.
Yeah.
So you got a gold ring, they want to cut as much less gold as they can.
Right.
So I've got these micro thin cutoff wheels from a company called Dedeco. And I use that for cutting gaps in my track.
Good night, Dan.
Pricey little guys, but they're really worth it. All right. 1 point rail.
So Split Rock, what exactly are you building? Are you building like a whole bunch of track? Are you building a turnout?
It's
No, he's
sort of
building-
like a turnout.
Hey, Thomas, you want me to grab mine?
Yeah, you can show her. It's a scale, and there's, you know how tracks, they got two rails, obviously.
Right.
Well, the scale has its own two rails, so you're going to have like switch points,
Okay.
like he's got, but it's
Hey.
not, you're not going to have a frog.
Can you
Let me-
be a little bigger?
Let me make your screen big here. Here we go.
And what is the purpose of that?
So the two rails farthest from the building would be just for pass-through traffic. But if you needed to weigh a car, and I don't have the building on here, so they
Scale.
points would drop down, and then these two rails here would actually be the live scale, and it would weigh the car it's going across.
Okay. How cool.
And I still have mine attached to the mason board because I don't want to damage it because I'm not ready to install it yet. So, and then all I got to do is just put drill a hole on the crossbar here, one there, nail it in place, and then pop some tortoises underneath.
Okay. Cool.
And I've got the building for it. I just haven't painted it, but
Yeah.
the building's just right over there too.
All right. Cool.
So
Hello, Randall.
Hi, Randall.
Yeah,
it's actually a funny story how I ended up getting that because at the time I just met Thomas on YouTube, I guess through Heath's live streams, And I've been doing some research, and I found this guy on Model Railroad Hobbyists on the blog that actually made one. And when I looked at the username to see who the creator was, lo and behold, it was Thomas.
Oh. It's a small world.
So I messaged him and was like, dude, like, can you tell me what all you did so that way, you know, I can make one myself? And so he actually ended up making it for me and sent me a really, really cool box car that I put up. But it was on my last video from Sunday. I actually drove it on behind a train.
All right, cool.
Really, really nice box car.
We have Ken Z in the house.
He is.
Ta-da!
Hello, Ken.
Hello, Ken.
Just hanging out, guys. How are you?
We're well.
Good, good. So you're making scale tracks. That is interesting. I like that. I sure wish I had some room to put one of those on, because that's such a great thing to have on your layout. You do so many neat things with a scale track. Nice operations.
And Robert wanted the one he wanted. There's the Walters. You get two types in one kit.
Yeah, that's
One has a wood base, and he wanted that. But I said the wood base only has one track. It's a lightweight scale.
Oh, okay.
So, but he wanted the two track. So I'm just using this as a template, and then he can put whatever base he wants underneath there.
which one is that?
This is just like yours.
Okay, yeah, that's the concrete one.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
he sent the wood one too.
Yeah, he ended up getting the same kit that I got.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a concrete base that you actually lay the track into. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's got like guides where the track goes, where it clips in there.
There you go.
This is similar to what we had at work. I modeled mine after the one at work, where it was actually on the switching lead, and you could switch on it, and then when they wanted to weigh it, you know, they moved the trains off and they'd unlock it.
Yep.
And they had two big yellow lights, and when the scale was unlocked, one yellow light would come on, and then when you could weigh things, because they turn it on in the office, another light would start to blink. So, and then after you're done weighing, they'd lock it again, and you can switch over it. So that's what I have on my split rock mining as a in track.
And that actually legitimately will weigh the car.
Well,
You
no.
you know, but you can simulate it.
Ken's trying not to laugh at me.
I know, but that's what a lot of people ask me that. I'm like, do you actually weigh it? Because there's a company. What is that, Freak? What is that, Jason? The Boulder?
Boulder Creek Engineering made it to where you can put in a couple of infrared LEDs, and it will simulate for you. Once it detects, you know, a car going over it, it will, you know, say, hey, it weighs this much.
Oh, I got you. So you have to buy like one of those tiny little scales to actually weigh your cars and stuff to get them to standard weight and that kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So this is purely decorative.
Yeah, the thing with the Boulder Creek Engineering, it just makes the operations more fun because now you could have your yard master write down the actual weight of the cars. You know, it's not like how many ounces. It's actually, we'll say it's this many tons.
Okay.
Because it's converted to scale. But what's funny is if you take that one, say a box car, you run it over the infrared LED, and it gives you the weight. If you pull it back up forward and then run it back again on top of it, it will give you a different rate.
Okay.
So it's just complete randomization.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Nissy, I wasn't laughing at you. I was more thinking of a smart aleck comment, but
oh no, I'm welcome. I'm a smart aleck, so you're good.
yeah.
It's all good, Ken. You're fine.
Smart aleck.
Don't worry about it.
It's just one more of those little tricks that we put in there to amuse ourselves.
Hey, whatever works.
Yeah. Tom's got a little spot where you go past it and it finds faults. And if you're being a smart aleck, he pushes a button so that it finds a flaw and makes you stop your train.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for him to record something so he can push a different button, and when it goes by, it'll say something like, "Hey, fathead, stop your train."
Hey, you can request custom words.
I imagine you could.
I think it's like $10 a word. They'll put anything you want in there.
Hi, James.
Yeah.
We could have Nisi record stuff too. They have it in the female voice.
Yeah, but they wouldn't like my words. Those would be $20 words.
Yeah. Wait a minute, Dan. Hello, James. That would be okay. So I got to make sure I do the same side. So this side.
So I installed the decoder and it immediately let the smoke out, which is not a good sign. So I started over with a new decoder and I'm checking everything. And I'm double checking to make sure I've got everything isolated just properly. And just for fun, I put the two probes across the posts on the engine, and it showed the motor. It showed the electric motor was shorted. And I thought, well, that can't be, because before I started doing the decoder install, I ran the motor on DC and it runs just beautifully. So I grabbed 3 or 4 motors out of the box and I picked up a Sagami and of course that shows no short. I thought, okay, I got a bad motor. Then I picked up another motor and that shows a short. So I'm not an electronic guy, so I'm trying to figure out what the heck. I don't want to fry another decoder at $100 a piece. That's not a good thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
What brand did you get?
I don't recall what brand it is. I got it for it's just a standard brand, motor that comes in an S scale locomotive. So yeah.
Which decoder did you end up using?
Tsunami 2.
Tsunami 2?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's plenty big enough. I've been using them for years.
Do you know what that amp stall on that motor is?
About 3/4. Yeah. So I understand where you're going with that, but I've been using Tsunamis for years. I just have never fried one before, so I just got freaky about it, and I've never used this exact style motor.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I might. I don't know.
Have you called and talked to George about it?
I just dropped George a note earlier.
Okay.
So, yeah. I know
don't feel bad. Being a Soundtrax factory trained installer, I have tried several decoders.
Yeah. So but
most of them in my own. Most of them in my own engines, but
yeah. The first install I did, when I was checking things out, I found out I'd used silicone caulk to mount the motor to the frame to isolate it, but that silicone caulk is not completely inert. It allows current through there. So I took a PVC pipe and made a saddle out of that and mounted the motor in that. So I don't know. It's probably nothing, and I'm being crazy now, but like I said, I'm being very, very careful with this next one. So
I'm just curious, which decoder did you end up getting? Is it the PNP board, like a 2200, a 4400? Which one?
I'd have to go down. I use 1100s, and the one I got was the 21 pin and I put it right into a Nix train board.
Oh, okay. The Decoder Buddy?
Yep, Decoder Buddy. So that makes a clean looking install. I just love that.
Yeah, I just got a Decoder Buddy for me to do that U50 that I've got.
Okay.
because it's got 1 pin, but the main board doesn't allow for more than 2 lighting functions.
Okay.
On the Southern Pacific locomotive, that top headlight, between the number boards would be a flashing Mars strobe, where
Okay.
the headlights on the nose would be solid. And so in order for me to do that, I'm having to replace that main board. And so George said, just get a decoder buddy from Nick's Trains. And so that's what I'm fixing to do.
Yeah, that's when I was first deciding to put this one in. I've used the Tsunamis that have the little tabs on the side. I guess they go into some OEM.
The PNP
Locomotives.
boards, the plug and plays.
Yeah, but see, I like those tabs when I had to hook all the wires to it because it was really easy to hook all the wires to it. But now that I get a decoder buddy, man, that is even easier. It's so clean, so clean. So, and then I model early to mid 60s, so I don't need 55 different lighting outputs. I just need headlights and a flasher.
Well, which railroad are you modeling?
Sioux Line and the Northern Pacific.
Okay.
So
I'm modeling Cotton Belt and Southern Pacific for 1958.
Okay.
Which, depending on which railroad had, more lighting functions than the other.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, and then this particular engine that I'm building, I'm trying to be real careful with because I'm going to match that one up to my proto throttle. And that's going to be my first demo unit with the proto throttle.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. I just happened to be down at the St. Louis RPM meet, and I was talking to Scott at his booth, and I took a picture of the proto throttle and I sent it to my wife, and I said, "Boy, don't I have a birthday coming up?"
I've already used that excuse.
Yeah.
You guys that one? Okay.
Yeah, she said,
"Hey, it's almost Christmas. It's almost Christmas."
Well, no, this was before my birthday, so she said, "Well, it's a big birthday for you, so if you can buy it right there, go ahead and buy it." So I did, and the next day she said, "Ken, there was a charge that hit the tank," and I said, "Yeah." She said, "It's over $600. Is that correct?" And I said, "Well, happy birthday."
And Valentine's Day and
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day.
Thanks, honey.
Yeah.
4th of July, Memorial Day.
I'm already to next Christmas right now.
Yeah.
My bride does that. I'm like, what do you want for your birthday? I already got it. You picked out the perfect thing. Wait a minute.
Yep. Yeah, same thing. Oh, wow.
Big box from Amazon shows up, and I know, okay. Don't say anything.
That's right. Don't say a thing.
Don't say
It's all
anything.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to get William over to help me with my proto throttle. So
Yeah, I think that if we don't get something done before then, we should set up a proto throttle programming station at the modelers meet.
that would be good.
Yeah, and I sent you a note because I'd like you to look at this new this church and give me your opinion on it. There's at least half again as much space for displays, and there's a nice presentation area, but the rooms up the breakout rooms are a little bit smaller, but I don't think it's going to be an issue. But I just would feel better having somebody else tell me I'm not crazy.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, we can do that.
yeah. So sometime when you've got time to make a trip up to Crystal.
Are you around tomorrow?
In the afternoon, in the morning, I went over and picked up a whole bunch of modules, and I've got to deliver them to Hopkins, as a matter of fact.
Oh no.
Have you ever seen the museum that Dave Jasper's making? It's over on Fifth Street.
No, I've heard about it, but I've never been there.
Yeah, it's about 2 miles west of you, right? So,
Oh, I don't even think it's that far.
yeah. So, I'll have to get you over there sometime. But so I don't know if tomorrow will work. I can give you a call when I know what my schedule is. So,
All right.
so now, Nissy, you're in N scale.
I have the main layout is HO, and then the N scale is just for extra on top of it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because that N scale, that's so nice and cute.
It is cute. It's real cute, but it's real
Yeah.
freaking small.
I can't imagine it's, I can't imagine serious model railroaders deal with that, but
Well, it takes up less space. I mean, I get the draw to it because you can do more with it in a smaller space, but if I had to do more with it than I already am, I don't think my patience would hold out.
yeah. I'm mostly just trying to draw a little bit of fire from anybody. Those N scalers can be pretty touchy.
I don't know what you're talking about, Ken.
Yeah, I know it. Not that us S scalers aren't.
Yeah, S scalers. Ken and I are put on Ken started a prototype modelers meet. You ever heard of those, Nissy? The railroad
No.
prototype modelers?
No.
They have meets all over the country. There's one by you that's world famous. It's in Cocoa Beach.
Oh yeah, it's on the. It's literally directly across the other coast.
Yeah, I recommend going to that because it's a day of people bring their models, spectacular models, even when they're half built. They'll tell you how they did them, and a whole bunch of clinics on anything on history and railroading and Cocoa Beach is one of the original ones, but that's a really good. It's not a trained show; it's like a hands-on and stuff like that. So,
is it open to the public, or do I use my NMRA to get in?
There's a little fee, even if you're an NMRA. There's like little fee. I can find out. I'll send it to you. I'll try and find out.
Okay.
I'll look it up here. Maybe I can post it online, or Ken can bring it up or something there. But yeah, Cocoa Beach is one. They have a big one in the Bay Area, Chicago, St. Louis, and we're building one up in the Twin Cities. It's been going on for how many years, Ken? 4 or 5, I think now?
5
5 years now.
Yep.
It's really nice. It's almost a 2 or 3 day event up here now. We only have operating sessions and layout tours.
Yep.
So, well, Dwight wants to know when the meet is. Ken, what's the days?
12 and 13 March, I believe.
Yeah.
Or 11 and 12. It's whatever Friday and Saturday is.
In March. Yeah.
Okay, so
but there's really, really amazing clinicians that'll teach you. And
yeah,
everybody's very personal. I mean, if you want to ask questions, they'd show you hands-on and do this. No, there's people bring models, but there's no judging.
Yeah, but what I run into, like at a train show, is that if I start talking to the modelers or something, they just kind of give me a deer in headlights and sort of stare at me.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's kind of awkward, and so I just kind of like keep on walking. So I'm kind of like nervous about going to a club meeting or something because I don't need to be catered to. I just want to be able to ask questions and
right. Well, and that we've talked about that in the past. That's one of the problems with most clubs, including a lot of NMRA divisions and regions, is people just don't know how to interact. I did trade shows for years, and one of the things I always told the guys that worked for me is, you own the trade show booth, but you also own half the aisle in front of you. So don't be afraid to get out there and interact with people. And it's hard to train people to interact like that, but that's what we have to do to be good ambassadors for the hobby. Is we've got to reach out and say, hey, come on in. You have a question? And and I find, again, modeling S scale, I learned tons of stuff from guys that are modeling in other scales. These skills are not scale dependent.
Right.
So that's what's really cool. So even the N scale guys.
Train fan's funny. He's like, I'm only 16, but it's small for me. Yes, sir. It's very simple.
Yeah, it is.
Age doesn't matter. It's just small.
I'm just telling you, Train fan, avoid all the hassle and switch to S scale right now and be done with it.
Steve 87, you're funny. You know what it is I'm nervous because I don't want to be too honey badger. I don't want to be that pushy broad that shows up, and I don't want to pull the female card either. I just want to be one of the guys. I don't need to be special treatment. I don't want to be an attitude. I'm if anything, I'm probably like a 7-year-old kid all excited and just like, Trey.
Nisi, can I ask you a question? You don't have to answer this now.
No, go
Do
ahead.
you feel the YouTube group has been welcoming to you and helping you out?
Yes,
Okay.
This group has been, everybody so far that I've run into here has been very welcoming. And I was nervous.
And not patronizing or anything?
No patronizing. I was nervous and I was a lurker for probably a couple of months and didn't participate. But because of my experience on Facebook, joining the different HO groups on there, and those guys, they're set in their way. So if you ask a question, I don't feel like they're answering the question or giving their opinion. I asked for your opinion, but then they're just like, you have to do it this way. This is the only way. And then they fight amongst each other, and you just kind of sit back and it's a feeding frenzy. And then I'm uncomfortable because I feel like I started a war. And I get if I ask your opinion, I ask for your opinion. I honestly want it. If I want your feedback, I've asked for it. I want all the dirty, like, tell me what you think. But I don't want to start a war. And like Ken was just saying, I like talking to everybody because you can take something from this person, you can take something from that person, and that's how you learn, by talking to people. And maybe it doesn't work for me, it works for someone else. But the Facebook, like, I just kind of like stepped back from that. Like, this is a freaking disaster. Like, you guys have been like, you make fun of me in a fun way, and I make fun of you in a fun way. And like, I can ask a question, and sometimes it gets lost in chat, but I know usually somebody will jump on and be like, Nisi, this is like, check this out. And you guys have been awesome. You're like, I can send you a picture on Gmail, I can do whatever. And you've always been like, today I was all excited when I saw you guys on here. I was like, oh, the guinea pigs, I can ask questions.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm 100% excited. Like, no, you guys haven't been, I don't feel any awkwardness or anything.
Cool. Well, that's good.
That's good.
So Nifty, and you're on a right point there, because there's other groups I've been in, even being a guy and being a younger one, where I've been kind of snubbed the wrong way as well. So that's one thing about this community. It's like a dysfunctional family.
Right.
We're all dysfunctional in our ways, but we're all family too. So, and what's cool about it, it doesn't matter, your age, your sex or your background, where you live. I mean, it is one of the coolest communities that I've ever been a part of, and honored to be a part of.
I feel like I found my tribe.
It's a big knowledge.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, we need more women in the hobby. Now, if you go and ask a lot of the people a lot of people I know that's been doing this hobby for the longest, they would try to shoot me in the foot for saying that.
Right.
But,
well,
absolutely, we need more women.
I mean, it's hard. Everything is, some people just don't like things different. They want things a specific way. And two, I mean, let's be honest, I'm not your typical gal. I mean, I'm rude, crude, and vulgar. And you know it.
And you like
that
to check
not typical?
What?
Why is that not typical? Have you not met my wife? Wait a minute here.
No, I haven't.
I don't think anyone wants a Disney princess anymore.
Well, Thomas, if you haven't seen the real Nisi, you just need to go watch Rick the Tree's channel.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know Rick the Tree.
It's not pretty.
That's all right.
I mean, with all the flashing on the first episode and showing the kits on the second one,
I was so excited. I was so freaking excited. I was like, oh, I got to do a costume. This is going to be fantastic. My kids were laughing at me. My husband was shaking his head.
So, Nisi, speaking of the flashing, the live stream at the museum, I know you cut out early. I actually ended up showing you a picture
Oh, no.
of the actual wig-wag signal.
Oh, and I missed it. I was there for a while, and then I had to go.
Yeah. So that means now you got to go and check the replay out.
Okay.
But it's closer to the end.
Okay. Fast forward.
Fast forward past all the parts that you were attending to, and then because I
was
called
so
you out.
cool. That
I
was so
called you out.
cool. I felt like Train Freak Jr. Like he was like so excited, and I was literally like bouncing up and down. Like this is freaking awesome. Yeah, to see inside of the locomotive was just really cool.
Which one?
Well, all of them, all of the ones you showed, and I was excited because I realized it was a bloody nose. The first one when I came in. Yeah, I get excited.
The GP30. Yeah.
Hello, Nancy.
What's going on?
So,
Yeah, I just wish a lot of them had better lighting.
But you can still see pretty well. I mean, it wasn't like you couldn't see.
Yeah.
That one car that was like you had the supervisor had his like apartment, and then everybody else was crammed into like that small area, and he had like the ginormous bathroom, and they had like 2 sinks. Like,
yeah, the crew car.
Yeah, that was a good time. I wouldn't want to be the crew.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat museum for sure. It's definitely one that gets overlooked because, you know, it's the name Arkansas. You know, like really, what's in Arkansas? You know, I mean, it's a really, really neat museum, and the cool thing about it is it's in an old railroad machine shop, and you got a steam locomotive that's in there that was built in there.
Oh,
and
cool.
that's what's really cool about it.
Yeah, the really only train museum that I was in was the Transportation Museum in St. Louis. And I was 12. And I just remember my grandparents like surprised me with that trip. And then they just like let me run wild. And at the end of the day, I was just covered in soot, cracking. Yeah.
Now, Chattanooga's got a pretty cool one, the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum, but it's all outside.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to go there like on a nice day and not, you know, depending on the weather.
I think Chattanooga, I just think that hill, I think it's at 75 and tractor trailer like almost running us off the road because the brakes went out. So I think Chattanooga, I go, oh, it scares me.
Well, I-24 is the way we went. I think it's 24. It's either I-24 or I-22. I can't remember. But it comes from Nashville. And, yeah, it gets pretty sketchy when you come into Chattanooga that way as well.
Yeah.
But they've also got the incline railway that's really neat as well. It's not like riding a normal train. You're in a trolley car that's got a cable attached to a winch at the very top of the hill. And that's also attached to another trolley car. So as one's going down, the other one comes up.
Oh, okay. And that's not like a cog train?
No, it's not a cog train. There's no motor or anything. It's all weight ratio. And the roof.
Crap, weight ratio? I'm never getting up the hill.
So no, it's not like that. But what's really cool is the way the car is designed is you don't sit flat. You sit like with a 45-degree arc because
it's like you're going up in the St. Louis Arch.
Yeah, kind of like that. And then as you're going up the hill, you're sitting flat and the whole roof is glass. So you're like sitting, I guess, in a stadium, but in a trolley that's going up a hill.
You can
like
see
a really,
everything.
really steep hill. It's really, really cool.
That sounds terrifying.
I promise you, it's really cool.
Well, listen, gang, I've got to run. I got a big day tomorrow. We take care of our grandson all day tomorrow, and he's he's just two and a half, and
Oh wow.
that's almost too much for my wife and I to take care of.
That's a
We
busy
can hardly
day.
keep up. So it's been great seeing you, Tom. I'm glad you put this
Yeah.
out there. Glad I could drop in and see everybody. Thanks for everybody else that's out there and all the good comments, and
It was nice
all you
meeting you.
thank
Yeah,
you. Nice meeting you also.
And I hope you get your soundtracks decoder thing figured out in your motor.
It will. Like I said, I'm being just absolutely very, very careful because I don't want to fry another decoder. So
I don't.
You only fried one on the podcast tonight. We were talking about things that went in the trash, lessons from the trash can. And Luke admitted to blowing up 3 decoders on one engine in the same night. He just kept after it.
Cha-ching.
Yeah. He's like, I'm like, with the third one. He had a whole
See,
bag of my decoders. So.
he's younger than I am.
Yeah.
I've made so many mistakes in my life. I may not learn from them, but I go slower.
Well, I think in model rarity, you're supposed to make mistakes, but don't make the same ones twice and learn from them.
Right.
That's what we talked about. Just
That's right.
Well, so I'll go
learn
ahead and
from
share
the trash can.
my best friend decoder, and there's a video on it on my channel. Is the first time I ever put a decoder in an Alco RS, and I forgot that the hoods are not as tall as the EMDs.
Yeah.
And so when I went to put the shell back on the PMP board, it pressed the decoder down on the metal flywheel.
Oh yeah.
And so as soon as I put it on the track, you want to talk about smoke coming out. When I took the shell off, half of that board was melted, and I shared a picture with it on my video. So yeah, like I said, don't feel bad. And I've been trained by George.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say that sounds like a manufacturing defect to me. Warranty. See you later,
Thanks,
gang.
Ken.
Bye.
Take care.
Ken is not the superintendent, the assistant superintendent of our NMRA division. So
Oh,
him and
okay.
I pretty much run everything. And
Hi, Roy.
trying to put together conventions.
Yeah, speaking of NMRA, I went in there to try to sign up and pay my dues, and I don't know if their site's having issues or what. That was the other day.
Yes, their site's having issues.
Okay. Well, good. Now I know it's not me.
No,
it's you.
not you. It's just good. Yeah,
No freaks allowed.
that's a hint. Yeah, that was a hint.
Probably.
We don't want you. We already got Nisi.
We have
We hit our
standards.
quota.
We have standards.
You don't have any standards. You let me in.
Yeah, that's true.
Nancy says she used to hop trains when she was younger.
Don't do that anymore. Nancy, where'd you take the trains to? Can't even read what this says. You answering all the questions for me, Nisi? All the chat I haven't been keeping up here. Drew Dudes, Artie's here. Seminar in March. Yeah.
Artie's here? Oh, man.
I don't see. Oh, there's Artie. Hi, Artie. I'm sorry. We got Jeremy. I'm falling down on my job.
Mine says 12. So I saw Michael McCarville stop by. I'm waiting for Robert to stop by. He's probably got his own thread going. I was
So I can
like,
check out. Oh, JD's here too.
is JD here? Hello, JD.
Yeah, JD's here.
Already, yeah, we got, I think Creepy's here. So don't we have 2 Australians in the house? Or?
At least, yeah. Steve. Oh, Steve 87th. If you're still here, I'm in the Tampa Bay area.
What division are you in, Nisi? Then are you in the Sunshine one, or what are you? Is that the Sunshine Region?
Ow. Let me look at my card and I'll tell you.
There we go.
I gotta pull it out. Oh, making a mess. Does it say?
No, I don't. It shouldn't say on your card, but
No, it doesn't. I don't remember. I think it was the Sunshine.
yeah, I think that's some.
Which is funny because some of the people that are in charge of my division are like over in Cocoa Beach and
Yeah,
down in Fort Pierce and all that kind of stuff.
yeah. It's really a strange geography bender division there.
I have no clue where I would be at.
Train Fan 120 says, "Hey Jason, should we see if we can get some manufacturers to make a Cotton Belt 819 and some Cotton Belt excursion cars?"
Yep.
Okay, so Cotton Belt 819 has actually been done, but it's not listed as an 819, and I'll give you the history why. Westside Models, which is a brass manufacturer, did what was called the Southern Pacific GS8. Now, Southern Pacific only had 6 GS models, 1 through 6. And then Cotton Belt had some 484 L1 Northerns. And when the Cotton Belt leased to the Southern Pacific to use loco numbers 800 through 818 to be used for commuter service out in California, they classified the first batch as GS7s, the last batch as GS8s. So, and I do see those on eBay from time to time, but they're like $500 and something for a brass DC locomotive, which to me seems just a little steep for that model because I have seen them for like, $300-400 in the past. So, but yeah, as far as the car itself or the locomotive itself, it has been done in brass.
Nancy said one time she ended up in the next state over, and that was the last time she ever did that. Steve, yes. Actually, in Tampa, I don't know of any hobby shops around here right now, other than like generalized hobby store. But in Pinellas Park over in St. Pete, I've got H&R trains and Zitnik trains, and Zitnik has become my go-to because H&R's got new owners, and it's just not the same.
Yeah, my friend Larry's from Jacksonville, and he was telling me, you don't have train shows and sales like we do. Up here, we have like flea markets that are just trains.
Yeah.
We have like 11 to 12 a year, like every third weekend.
No.
There's some auditorium or school or something. Just trains.
Yeah, and like Michael McCarville, like he was showing one of the things that he had up and where he's at. And I mean, the prices on the trains was incredible. And like I went to a train show down here, and if you didn't know trains, I would have been in my glory, but it was all like nothing against Lionel, but I mean, I could have gotten, it was like my husband, it was all Lionel. So you could get a steam engine that said Lionel on it. There was like 800 of those, and there was like 800 Lionel black cars to go with it. And I was like, I'm looking for box cars, like other things, other road names other than Lionel. Like if somebody went in there and thought they were getting a good deal because, whatever, but there's just no, I'm sorry. What do you call it? Things to choose from. There's no selection. It was all the same crap. It was frustrating. I mean, I was able to get a caboose for my Sal. I was excited about that, and I got a good deal on that. But I mean, as a whole, I went in there with I need X, Y, and Z, and I didn't come out with X, Y, and Z. And I see you guys, and you guys are like, oh, I got this box at the store or at the show, and I'm sitting here going, that's what I was looking for. That's what I'm looking for.
I'll tell you this. So in Central Arkansas, we've had one train show a year, and that's the Jacksonville, Arkansas train show in August. And we've had it there for the past 10 years. And I got a letter in the mail today, or not today, but the other day, that said that we're having to move the train show. And they're going to be moving it to Conway, Arkansas, because the facility is 3 times bigger. Comes to find out, the guy who was hosting the train show is having to turn vendors away because he didn't have the space at Jacksonville.
Wow.
So we're fixing to be moving to a facility that's 3 times bigger.
Wow. See, and another problem is you've got to get to the show like the hour that it opens, because if you
Yes.
don't,
Yes.
like by that end of that day, they're already packing their crap up. And most of it is like toys. Like it's not trains. They've got all this extra crap that they're selling.
I will tell you this too. If it's a 2-day show, you go both days.
Oh, okay.
Because what I've seen a lot of vendors do is they will pull out a lot of their collection on Saturday, but they still have a lot of their collection hidden.
Oh.
On Sunday, they refill what they sold out, so that way it looks like they got full tables. And I ended up getting a locomotive that I had been after on day 2 that was not on the table on day 1.
Oh, okay.
So that's another trick as well. If you're going to a train show and it's a multi-day, you better go every single day.
Well, and plus they see me and they think, we got you, girl. And it's like,
Yeah.
I look at it and go, yeah, that doesn't go with that. And what you're saying doesn't match with that. And then they're like, oh.
Yeah.
We've
I'm
got
definitely jealous
really-
of your show.
We've got some really good vendors that's been in this area. And then, of course, I try to go to the one in Northwest Arkansas, which is like a 3.5-hour drive. It's up in Bentonville, Walmart country, in other words.
Mhm.
And, they open their doors at 8 o'clock in the morning, meaning I got to leave here at 5:30 or 5 o'clock to be able to get there when the doors open.
Dang.
Only because I'm too cheap to get a hotel for the night. I'd rather put my money in the trains in the hotel.
I ain't got money for that. I'm sleeping in the car.
Oh, Artie, where'd you go? Come on back. I missed him in the basement there.
Oh, is that crazy Australian trying to join us?
Yes,
Oh, no.
it's beard night. So
Beard or beer?
we
Beard
had that the
night.
other night. We had Roy and Train.
I already
freaking
shaved my beard, so I don't have one.
Artie, come on back.
Artie, come back.
Sydney
Well, you
Cholaz
said
here.
you were going to send you a beard like I sent Sparky one.
You sent Sparky? Oh, yeah, you sent him a beard. That's what I need, and then I'll wear it.
So Sparky is open. He says on Christmas he's going to open it up for people to come on, and I'm taking that as a personal challenge. So I've got an idea that might be pretty funny if I can get the right stuff. So
Steve87 said, wait, freak, don't you have a camper?
yeah,
Camp.
I do. Technically, I do. But see, them RV spots cost money too. So,
Yeah, that's true.
they don't cost as much as a hotel, but I would end up burning more fuel hauling that up there because where I'm at, we're pretty flat. This part of Arkansas is kind of flat, but you go up northwest, it gets really hilly. So, you end up burning double the fuel in the hills, especially with, toting 14,000 pounds behind your truck.
Yeah, that's a lot of drag.
Yeah.
That's what I need. I need Mr. Nisi to get me a camper, and then I can go up to the Florida State Fairgrounds and camp out, and then and then I can put all my shopping stuff in the camper. Yeah.
come up to Minnesota with our 20 sales and shows and 500 layouts and everything.
Well, see, that's another thing is that we used to have the Florida State Fair, and they would do Regal would do shows and stuff out there, and the Silver Spike, I think it is, would do shows, and they've canceled all of them. So we only have the Hillsborough County Fairgrounds, which is just down the street from me, and it's so small. Like I said, it's not
Yeah.
the same. I mean, it's good because I'm saving money, but so then I found a hobby shop out in Iowa, and that was my downfall. Poor Mr. Nisi. Then I found some Sal engines last night. And he was like, don't you already have other stuff coming? I'm like, curses.
So the Sal engines you need
Busted.
are the centipedes.
Oh, the centipedes.
Let
I
me
could
tell
never
you,
run one on my track because of the wheels, but the centipedes I love those. I just love the look of them.
I told John Arthur won't get them for some reason. I told him he should.
They're expensive as hell.
Yeah, that's probably why he won't get them.
And you can't, my track isn't big enough to run it around the curves. It would be hung up because I assume with all those wheels, it wouldn't turn the curve very well.
What's your radius?
What do I have? 24, I think is
Oh,
24.
yeah. This should run on 24.
Really?
I don't think so.
Don't get that thing, Nisi.
It probably won't look pretty running on
Save your
24,
money
but
for Dakotas or something. That all-wheel monstrosity. You don't want one of those things.
I
don't know,
mean,
I thought it was cool.
think about it. I've got a cab forward, and now I got a U50.
Oh, the U-boat. That U-boat's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, I don't want it to look awkward, and I don't need it. Like, I really want the steamer, the Sal steamer from the 40s or the 50s, but they never made it. Like, there's no model of it out there, and my level of modeling hasn't reached that level to actually like somehow make my own.
That's a goal. That's a stretch goal. That's when you're going for your master model rotor. You dig into that.
There you go.
So I got a friend of mine. He's an NMRA master modeler out of Texas, and he's got a Facebook group called Texas Train Works, WRX.
Okay.
And he actually ended up painting a brass centipede as Seaboard years ago.
Nice.
And he actually has that on his display table at the train shows.
Oh, that's wild.
So I took a picture of it and showed it to John Arthur, and I was like, dude, I found you a locomotive. And then I found out it was for sale, and I was like, dadgummit.
Yeah. No, I think those are pretty cool. I don't know. I like all the trains, so I have a problem. And now I've started an in-scale collection. So I had to rearrange my one display case so that I could have room because I have 17 state cars coming.
Oh, wow. Cotton Belt didn't really have any unique locomotives except for one. And it was, they took two Baldwin DRSs, let's see, a 4.4-1000. And they took two of them and pushed it together like back to back.
Yeah.
And they called it a DT66 2000. And it is a weird looking locomotive.
It has to be like a monster, though. Oh, my goodness.
But it's two switchers that they
Oh, okay.
cab to cab together. So it's like a cab with two prime movers. It's just weird looking. It's so weird.
It can't be any weirder than a doodlebug. I don't like the look of a doodlebug. What the hell? What the hell is a doodlebug?
I've got a doodle bug.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. That
So
looks
what-
odd to me.
What is the attraction with the states cars, and the planet cars and all this stuff? Is it just something to collect? Is that the train collector thing? Because
Yeah, so that must be more micro trains in scale because they do all that collection stuff. That's not.
I'm asking Nisi because she's
Oh.
getting them. I'm like, what is the attraction?
I think it's just cool. I'd like to have them all.
Okay,
So it's just for collection because my in-scale track, I mean, it's 15 feet from front to back, and it literally will only go backward and forward. So I will never run them. Like I couldn't run a whole 50 state train. There's just no way. So it's just for looks.
That's cool. Nothing wrong with that.
You need to join Fremo.
What's Fremo?
Fremo is a nationwide modular group called Free Modules, and they have N scale and HO, and you can build a module any way you want. See if I can explain this. So you can build the module any way you want, but the standards they have on the height and the end of it. You know, you have to have an end plate that's so wide, and your track, you have single track or double track. But in between there, you can make whatever you want, and you can make up 4 or 5 modules. But they have these shows, or they get together on the weekend with 10 to 50 guys, and they all bring their modules, and they build these massive layouts. I'll show you some videos of it. And like they come from, sometimes they meet from like 4 or 5 states, and they just build a big layout for a weekend.
Nice.
And the so look up Primo N, and it's just a wonderful group. Because there's no rules and no president and no this and that. It's just you have to follow the standards for wiring and the end and the switches, but you can make whatever you want.
Well, not just that, Thomas, but you got a lot of clubs that have gone that way. You know, instead of having a club layout, the club, you build a module.
Right. Because clubs, the best, you know, I don't know why clubs always start building with the idea that they're always going to be there. You know, There's probably 5 clubs that have been in the same location since the 30s. You know, everybody gets booted out.
Well, so there used to be a club in Central Arkansas, and they owned their own building. Like the building got donated to them, so they didn't have to pay any rent or anything like that. Their problem was they didn't have good insurance on it, and a tree fell onto the building.
Oh no!
And not just destroyed the roof, but it went through the roof and destroyed a lot of the layout.
Right.
Well, that's expensive.
And they just decided to disband the club since.
Oh man, that'd be heartbreaking.
But I hear that all the time. My friend Clark up in Canada, they were in some small town in the little civic center. The roof caved in from snow.
Yeah.
And it was so dangerous, they wouldn't even let guys back in to get their trains.
Ugh.
And then finally, when they kind of shored it up a bit, they said, you can go in there. Each of you has 20 minutes. I mean, there's still trains in this collapsed building because they can't get them out.
Man.
But yeah, I think modular clubs are the way to go. I mean, I've got a Fremo module, and if I have a weekend off with them, I'll set it up and run. You can run whatever. Guys run wonderful trains.
Well, and that's when I was able, like with Aaron's layout, he's an N scaler. That's why I built his not just as a oversized module, but it's like his own layout, so he can run trains on his own. But if someone does have a module, they can connect to it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's cool.
So,
Kyle says his layout's going to be modular.
Yeah.
I think Michael McCarville was saying he was going to be doing modular.
Yeah, the Fremo group of modular. I think if you're a young guy, like a college dorm or something, you want to build a little module.
Yeah.
Because it's a great chainsaw layout that, hey, I learned a lot of stuff on this after 10 years. Trash bin and go build your own,
Jason, your volume got weird.
Oh, okay. That's weird. Is it still
You
weird?
turned into AM radio.
Well, I guess that's a sign for me to go to bed. We'll blame it on Heath.
Yeah, it
I haven't
works.
seen Heath tonight, yeah. But yeah, I'd like to see all 50 of those states, and I know Heath collects the planets and stuff. And
Well,
Roy Helmut does too.
+2, it was the price. I couldn't pass up the price. The price has a lot to do with it.
Oh, come on.
Honestly, they were cool, but for $20 a car, I mean, that's a lot.
Is it micro scale or?
Yeah, it's definitely. I think it's micro trains.
Yeah, microtrains.
Yeah.
Micro trains, that's what it is.
Yeah, micro scale does decals.
Yeah, one or the other.
Well, I got my run around in.
Well, that's good.
Let's see it. Let's see it work. Run a car down it.
Not that much in, but
I've got 3 of the 4 rails.
Looks good.
I got
Oh,
3 of the
really
4
good.
rails I can put in here.
these two here are the main lines,
Okay.
and this is the runaround section here.
Nice.
So they would back cars in here, locomotives would pull up, take this track here, and run around and connect it on that way.
It's nice. Looks good.
So, because I've got 2 industries that are going to be that way that have to be pushed in, from the front side of the locomotive, not the back.
You made that look easy connecting that because I always have the damn rail connector stuck to my fingers, like literally stuck in my fingers.
We all do. We're always,
Like DNA is all over the place on my. If I ever go missing, I told my husband just have him run a sweep on the track because it's all there.
yeah, no, that's all of us. And Burns from the soldering iron. It's like,
Yeah,
I
that
don't
was
know
cool.
if it shows. But
there you
yeah,
go.
can you see where I bent the metal
Yeah,
backwards?
yeah,
I did that so that way it won't stick in my finger.
yeah. But I have tried bending the freaking metal backwards, and it still gets stuck.
Well, all you do is you take it, you put it flat, and then roll it backwards, and it will bend right up under.
Oh, yeah. It sounds easy. It's a me problem. I'll figure it out eventually. I'll
Like,
bleed a
put it in
lot.
up track. So Nisi, you've asked me, and Jason just asked me the other day. You guys were talking about the NMRA Achievement Program,
Right.
So maybe I'll start having some live streams and have you guys on, and I can explain it because every time someone goes into that, there's just so many questions because the rules are just so complicated. They're worse than Walter's instructions. So
And yet, when you break it down, it's not like
correct.
there's things that we've blown out of proportion in our brain from reading the verbiage that it's not actually that bad.
And you think, oh, I got to scratch build everything and win contests, and I'm like, no. So, I'd like to have you guys both get your golden spikes. I was trying to work with Heath on it, but
I've been
But maybe
documenting everything that I do. I'm taking pictures. I got pictures galore as I'm going.
very good. Well, do you get a division newsletter from the NMRA yet?
Yeah,
Nisi,
I
or no?
do. Yeah, I do. I get the email and I get the paper newsletter from my own particular area as well.
And I will tell you this for author points, your division and regional newsletter editors are just starving for articles.
Okay.
People aren't sending them hundreds of stuff. Half the time when I'm I make stuff up and put another name on it.
Oh,
So if you're at the workbench and you're taking a picture, hey, here's what I did.
okay.
Send them 4 pictures, maybe edit it up, write them up, write a nice thing, and send, hey, here's an article. They won't turn you down.
No, I thought I wasn't
Then you're
advanced
already
enough.
making points. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see. I'm intimidated. I figured I wasn't advanced enough, and I
No.
wouldn't even.
Oh
Okay.
God, no.
All right.
Because what you're doing is, to me, is 90% of the hobby. It's model railroading 101.
Okay.
Look at YouTube at all the big model railroad YouTubers and their subscriptions. Everything they teach is track and wiring and basics of this and Katie couplers.
Yeah.
The stuff that I'm doing here, hand laid track, I know it only appeals to a certain people,
Right.
persons. But I don't want to do model railroading 101 because that's what everyone else does. So I'd rather have the advanced courses. But I will be glad to help anybody do the achievement program and
Yeah.
come at with all the questions because I've been through the ringer and I
Yeah.
ask 10 million questions too. So
Yeah. No, that'd be fantastic. I'm down for that.
yeah, okay, good. Because I know you both asked me about that because if you want it, because you're both in the same stage to do what I do to earn it organically. Okay. As long as you're building a layout, you're gonna achieve, these steps.
Okay.
Because that's building the split rock. I'm like, well, I'm doing this. I'm drawing out the plan. I might as well submit it. I did the wiring. I might as well have somebody come over and take a look at it. Well, I built the track. I might as well get the track thing.
Right, and like I know things with electricals, you got to have the train. You got to be able to run 2 trains simultaneously, and then have one that's not running while the other one's running.
Yep.
And then that kind of stuff.
But it's not that big a deal. But like you said, you're doing your tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you wrote an article like, okay, I did this tunnel, and then you talk about the first time it didn't work, people want to hear that because people are so used to, here's how I did the first time, and it's ta-da, it's all perfect and everything. Everybody else is like us. Like I told you, we're all cutting our fingers, we're all burning our fingers. We're all, the first thing we made is in the trash. So people like that. And if you can write and show some pictures of what you did, there's your author points.
All right, cool. See, that's why I would be game for doing what you're talking about, because see right there, you simplified it.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll start that too. I just wanted to do this I want to get Robert's projects done. I'm trying to get. I'm like, I got to get this crap off my desk.
And that's also kind of like me taking a Walters kit and kit bashing it.
Absolutely.
So that's another thing. Like for the build, like I've got the box cars to do the kit building, but I'm also thinking, because I was kicking around buying those flats that are on foam board, because I need in-scale flats up against the wall for dimension. And now I'm thinking maybe just getting some, I don't know, we call it wall pieces, and just building my own flats. And then that would give me another kit build.
Well, you got some of the kits out there, they have backdrop buildings, or you can take a building kit and turn it into 2 backdrop buildings. I've seen that done.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So, I'll explain you're right about this, and Jason's right. I'll explain the introductory thing called the golden spike.
Right.
And the whole premise of the golden spike is you're not going to be judged. None of the models are going to be judged to be good. All it's going to be is you just have to show you have it. And basically what the golden spike is, they're looking to see that you've advanced beyond snap track, pulling a train out of the box and putting it on. Okay? So they want to see 6 pieces of rolling stock. And all they want to see is displayed. And they just need to show a little more effort than shake the box. So, like if you had a box car and you carved off the ladders and you put one on.
Okay.
You put the rings on there, some detailing. And then your layout, you need 8 square feet that you've seen it. It doesn't have to be good, doesn't have to be bad, but it just can't be Kato Unitrack and a couple of lifelike trees planted there. They want to see that you did something. It doesn't have to be cover of the magazine. And then 5 structures. And like you said, the Walter structures, the full structures, and then put some detailing on it. Did you put a sign on it? Did you put an antenna? Did you put some chimney? And that, and it's the golden spike is really simple. But it's just, you have to put in more effort, than this. I was trying to get Heath to do it, but Heath had problems with the 8 square feet of layout, right?
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, I will deal with the NMRA judge who's judging yours. And if you do everything else, they'll bypass the 8 square feet.
Oh, okay.
You live in a New York City condo apartment,
Well, he's got a studio now, though.
Yeah, but he's eating up a lot of space with all the stuff he's got in there.
Sure. Yeah, but when you think 8 square feet, that's only a 2x4.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah, but watching him trying to undo that ladder the other night was painful. Just say it.
He said he wanted something that he could easily store, but he needed something that would do really tall, and that's why I showed him that ladder. So, Thomas, let me ask you this, because I did a video on this one. Does weathering count?
Not as a detailing.
Oh.
Okay.
It's got to be part of the structure, like something you change with the structure.
So
do
so
trucks, like
looking
if you
at it-
change the trucks or Katie couplers, does that count?
they need to show a little more effort than shake. For example, a freight car kit out of the box is
Yeah.
not enough. But by painting, decaling, and adding some detailing, perhaps some weathering, you'll have a qualifying model. So it's
you
part
got
of
the
it.
weather. Okay.
Okay. What about?
So if you took that box car and went and bought a scale brake wheel for it, because most of those, is that a Katie car or is it an Athearn Blue Box?
This is an AccuRail.
And so I don't know what the brake. Most of the brake wheels on these cars look like manhole covers,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
But so on the side, does it have separate grab irons or are they molded on?
They're molded on.
Yeah. So if you took a car like that, exactoed off those, drilled the holes and put the wire grabs in, ta-da, weather it up like that,
Oh, okay.
you know.
What about doing something like installing sound in a box car?
Would that be electrical?
Not for the Golden Spike, but that would be for the civil engineering one.
Okay, so now I've got a locomotive that I'm going to have to install stanchions and handrails on.
Mm-hmm.
So would that count? Because I'm going to have
That
to
would
individually.
that would count towards the Golden Spike. Because
Okay.
the Golden Spike wants to see 6 pieces of rolling stock, motive power, and cars. You're going to have 6 engines you've detailed, 6 box cars, 6 gondolas, but they just want to see something more than out of the box.
Okay, so something else is you got those Proto 2000 kits.
Yep,
I put a handful of those together.
right. But did you add any detail?
No.
And I'm just saying anything counts. A grab iron, put on a new
Yeah.
wooden rough block, add some tack boards, any of that type of stuff. Very simple. They just want, you just have to show that you're not buying something, rubbing dust on it and putting it on the layout.
Gotcha.
The main thing is you gotta.
They just want you out of model roading 101. They don't want to see a train set.
Right.
The main
But
thing
they
is
don't want to see cover of the magazine. They're not going to just if you put like Nisi, if you did that your first try, you put handrails on an HO box car or grab irons, and they were crooked and everything, they wouldn't care.
because it
It's
doesn't
not
have to be good. It's just a yes or no.
Yes, it's not being judged. They just want to see the effort.
Okay.
See, everybody thinks, oh, I got to score all these points and best of show, and I'm like, no.
Well, I've got a couple. I think I got like 3 or 4 locomotives that I'm gonna have to put detail parts on.
Yep.
So
Keep track of it. Write a little note so when whoever evaluates, and they can evaluate online, that you can say, hey, here's my Rock Island RS1. I added this.
the only thing I added on the RS1 was extra lighting that did not come with it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I added. So, of course, the locomotive came with a headlight that illuminated the headlight and the front number boards. Then it came with a backup light that illuminated the rear number boards and the backup light. And that's all that it came with.
Yeah.
I took those plastic pieces out that the one light was illuminating, cut them into separate pieces, so that way I could wire individual LEDs to each number board, the front headlight, the backup light. I installed an LED for the cab interior and 2 LEDs for under the cab for the truck lights. And that's really the only thing I did on that Alco RS1.
Yeah.
So I don't.
And for the Golden Spike, that's not what you want. You'll do that in electrical and civil.
Okay.
But like I said, six cars, build 5 buildings. Show what you did on a layout. They want to see a power up 1 switch. You know.
So I need
Oh.
6 cars and 5 buildings. And do buildings count like water feature, like a river? Would that be considered a building?
No, they want to see a structure.
Okay.
The water feature will come in somewhere else.
Okay.
Like this.
Gotcha.
But so like your electrical, yeah. So if you lit that building, that would help on the lighted portion
Okay.
because they
So
want to see
I did-
they want to see electrical feature.
So I did do that on the small scale house, and I plan on doing that on the big one too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So here's the big scale house. I just haven't painted it yet.
Looks good.
And Nisi, you can do this in both scales. This doesn't have to be all on one layout. You know, so if you built some N scale structures and
Yeah.
added lighting to them or added curtains on the inside or did
Oh.
did something beyond that.
So I've already got 1, 2, 3. I've already got 3 kits for building. 1 is N scale and 2 are HO. So that's already 3.
Nice.
So leave
2
me
more.
2. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That's what the whole program is just showing, you know, most of these are that you can follow standards. And it actually improved my layout. The electrical one, when I went through my layout, I found overlapping gaps and I'm like, okay. So it made my layout block into 4 blocks. So if someone derails in one, the rest of the layout's still going.
Okay.
So I've got this.
And then, you know,
Oh, Napa.
But check this out.
Oh, that's cool.
Completely scratch built.
That's cool.
yeah.
Now, I didn't do a video or anything on it. I did this like several years ago.
Do you have a picture of the prototype at all?
No.
Okay.
Nope. I just did it for a merit badge a long, long time ago when I was in Scouts.
Is a bridge a structure?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
But remember that it can't be a shake the box bridge. Did you scratch build it? Did you have details? Did you modify it in some way? Did you kit bash it?
Okay.
You know.
Now, like I said, I did kit bash the Walters stockyards.
Yeah, because you made that bigger than it was. You added extra stuff to that.
No,
Artie's
was-
back.
it was supposed to be deep. I made it narrow and wide.
So did you cut the plastic to do that, or
I
How
cut the
did you-
base plate
how did you cut that?
with an X-Acto knife.
You cut the plastic with an X-Acto knife?
Yeah, the base, yeah. You score it. You know, you get like a square,
Right.
you know, a speed square, and you just score it.
You just keep
And
doing it and
scoring
doing it and doing it.
over and over and over. Oh,
Okay.
Lord.
Uh-oh. Time to go. Bye.
Or you can use Nisi. Here's a great score trick: is the X-Acto blade. Use the back and run that along the styrene, and then snap it.
Okay.
So this is my X-Acto.
Yeah.
I did not buy this at a hobby shop. This one,
Weird.
it's got like grip. So, but it's really, really nice because you can easily take the blades in and out. I got this from O'Reilly's Auto Parts,
Oh.
and it came with like several different blades for like $15.
Because I bought a fancy X-Acto kit, and the damn blade keeps coming out when I'm using it.
This one's good.
You gotta
But
screw
like I
it
said,
harder.
I like these with the sliding blades that come out
Okay.
because I don't know if you can see it, but it's all. Once this gets dull,
Yeah.
I just snap it off.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can kind of see the little lines in there. So when I'm done using the edge, you just break off 1/4 of an inch, and then you got another sharp point again.
Yeah, and
Plus
then I'm
we-
bleeding.
Yeah, plus when you put it out, it's got a lock on it.
Oh, so it stays.
Yeah, and then you can lock it in too. So
Okay.
yeah, I get these like at art stores, and then you can just replace the blades.
Mm.
So, but yeah, I will be glad to help. I'll probably do that. I'll set that up, and I will let you know. You know, my schedule is kind of crazy, but I want to start doing, especially like the first of the year.
All right. Just send me an email or something. My email's in my about.
Is
Because
it?
sometimes these things don't show up. They don't pop up until like an hour or two after
Yeah.
you're done.
Yeah, I go on when I can, but based on my job. So I thought tonight will be fun. I know there's only a couple shows, and I thought after I record the podcast, I'll come on there. So
It's pretty awesome you did, because I was in here, laying cork and trying to get track laid and whatnot. So once I get all the track done, I'll have to wire it up.
Okay, Kyle says so. I can use my Pointer Rocks and Harper's Ferry stations. What did you want to use them for? Okay, Steve says
I'd use the razor saw.
razor saw. Mystic Southern, hello.
Well, it depends on how thick is how thick is styrene are you trying to cut, Missy?
Well, it was the plastic from a kit, and I was shocked that you could use an X-Acto blade to cut that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because
normally you could.
I've seen like pre-built buildings that were like dirt cheap, and I thought, oh, that'd make a nice like semi-flat building, but I didn't know how to cut that.
You just have to score it like over and over and over, like maybe 20 times, just
Oh,
depending on
great.
the sharp,
But plastic will snap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it also depends depending on the type of plastic and the thickness of the plastic. Like I've got this thick one here, and it's not your evergreen plastic. This is what I used on my panel, and it's a lot harder, and I've got to go deeper to scour it. But what I'm doing is I'm using a Stanley knife
Okay.
instead of a X-Acto lock knife to actually cut it. I score it half the way, and then I just snap it and break it. Evergreen's a lot softer than this. This is a harder plastic. Yeah. So what are we all doing?
Staring at you with those sexy glasses.
I've got 6 eyes.
It's very
So I'm
sexy.
trying,
Hey, I just got nailed, so
Congratulations.
I'm just painting up my telephone boxes
Oh, okay, cool.
for the layout, which I'm about to put on. So that's one.
Good night, Steve.
And night, Steve. And I'm
Night,
just
Steve.
doing the second one now. One's going next to the post office. The other
Night,
one's
Steve.
going on to the on the platform.
Cool.
The
You're
Australian
busy.
English style. And I'm slowly getting the layout together. It's I've got the vegan butcher shop done, more or less. The structure's up.
Did you just say vegan butcher shop?
Yeah, the vegan butcher shop. Yeah.
What the hell are they cutting up?
Well, that's
Ask him about that.
next week. Stay
Mason,
tuned for next week.
see what Artie's not telling you. It's the land of the soy burgers.
Dude, is this like Soylent Green?
I'm not saying nothing. You'll have to wait till find out next week.
If Charlton Heston shows up, I'm out of here. Vegan.
DC, were you on his show last night?
No.
I don't blame you.
I came up with this idea, and like they have this traveling boxcar.
Yep.
So what I'm gonna make is a traveling passenger car,
Nice.
and I'll have the roof come off, and it'll go to everybody's layout. And what I'm gonna ask it is, everybody gets to put an HO scale version of them in the car.
I'll make myself with like flashers.
There
You're
you
gonna
go.
need a bigger car.
So look at mini prints or something up big here. So I'm gonna make a car, and then everybody can just then pass it around and show them their layout. So
Oh, that's cool.
I'll do a video on making the car. I'm gonna sandblast it. And I forgot what we were gonna call it. We were gonna the YouTube model railroad. I forgot we had some bad names for the car, but it'd be kind of funny. So.
Train Fan 120 says a vegan butcher shop. Never thought I would hear those two words together. Same. I'm never gonna get past it.
No, the vegan butcher.
Well, they do say us Aussies are crazy, so we've got to keep up. We've got to keep the
Keep up pretenses.
I've
Yeah.
got to keep the I've got to keep everything going, you know. You can't let the fellow Aussies down. Yeah.
Too funny.
I just
Too
wish those mini prints will hurry up and get over here for next week. Otherwise, it's going to mess my whole plan up. They're probably floating with my GG1s in the middle of the Pacific Ocean somewhere.
You
You
get
know,
it, G?
I'm still waiting on those signals I ordered about a month ago.
What kind did you get?
They're searchlight style, so they're like SP style signals. I got a single mast but double headed, and then I ordered a cantilever, which both tracks only have a single head. So
My mind just went dirty. I'll be over here.
hey, you just talk to that guy over there about that, okay?
Me? I know where she comes from. She comes from Tampa. I know what goes on in Tampa.
Hey, Artie, when you move to South
I
Carolina,
know very well what goes on in Tampa.
hey, Artie, just think about it. When you move to South Carolina, you'll be closer to her than me and Thomas will be.
Yeah.
Lucky dog.
You both
I'm
miles
just thinking I'm going to be the poor piggy in the middle.
Oink, oink.
Yeah.
Too funny.
That's all right. The scary part is I will be down there a fair bit down in Tampa because I've got friends and whatnot down in that neck of the woods.
You got friends in low places, my friend.
I got friends at places where you never thought of. But then again, knowing you, Nissy, you probably have.
I know some things.
I'm not touching that one.
I've seen some
I'm not
things.
Seen some things.
I've seen some stuff.
This is one of those instances where I say I plead the fifth.
Yeah.
It's not good enough.
Yeah, we worry when you talk about the three-way network, so it's just kind of.
Oh God, when you said that and then I commented, I was reading that going, that's awkward. That is so awkward.
Yeah,
You
especially
mean
when you
also
said,
that's,
"Well, that'll
that's a
fit
common
better."
theme down there in Tampa, Nissy.
Yeah, that three-way sounds interesting.
Yeah.
So then the next blurb I put, I heard there's electrical issues. Like I wanted to clarify that I wasn't being risque, that I was being serious.
There'll be no better.
Yeah, I'm a dirty girl. Definitely like Robert De Niro. I know things. I know some things.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'll get down to Tampa and down to I actually spend more time in Sarasota than Tampa.
Yeah.
And I've got a good friend just east of Tampa, between Tampa and Jacksonville.
Oh, that's north.
And I promise this. Yeah, well, in that direction. But I promise them this time around when I'm coming over, I'm going to go and give them a visit. So I'll be popping around there and I'll throw rocks at your house like I did over at Cretan's place. I'll throw rocks at you.
Sweet.
Wow.
And when I hear you screaming, I know I'm at the right house.
Yeah, I'll be like, oh yeah, oh yeah,
Oh, you got it.
I missed.
oh yeah.
I'll just go watch me brush at the back of the moment.
Kyle, I'm Farmers Insurance.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
glad
isn't
you
that
said
fun?
that second word because I thought you was about to say farmers only.
Oh no.
Hey, farmers are cute. Don't tell Mr. Nisi.
So what's Mr. Nisi's hobby?
Baseball, football, Star Trek, Star Wars,
Oh, Star Wars.
me,
Wrestling.
all
I
about
was hoping
me.
you were on there. Somewhere.
I'm on there. I'm part of the collection.
Does he have Star Wars collectibles or just the movies? Or oh, what are we building there? Oh, there's the butcher.
What does it say on top? It says
There's your
something.
vegan butcher shop.
What does it say? Randall's
Randall's
Run. You get the runs when you eat at the butcher
Yeah.
shop.
You know, Artie. You know,
No,
like
actually,
the old-time
named it up.
butcher shops. You know, like the old time butcher shops, they'd have the meats hanging out there. You should have like cucumbers and carrots and everything else. Hanging from a hook.
Stop
out
giving
there.
it away, Thomas. I've got the interior in there, but whether I'm going to have enough time to get it done or not. So the roof would just
It's
come
not
off.
going to
and
be
I can change it.
vegetables. It's going to be people. So it's going to be arms and legs hanging out there.
Some guy running out the back. It's a cookbook. It's a
Yep,
cookbook.
the sharpening the knife. As I said, I just had the many, and this is me nation building
Oh, cool.
that I made last night. Put together. Going to put lights in it again. The roof will come off,
What are those
Very
made
so I
out
can
of?
do a bit of detail on the inside.
Yeah, what are those made
This
out
is
of?
made out of styrene. Oh,
Oh, okay.
this
Look
I
at
made
you.
myself.
Look at you with the angles and
This is
everything.
scratch-
You're doing good. That's really good.
Mind you, I checked with the door. But, yeah. I scratched
tried
with
to-
that. because I couldn't find
I tried to-
anything that was. What's that, Nissi?
I was gonna say, if I tried to scratch build anything right now, it'd be Caddy Walter.
I love it.
Nice. Looks good.
It's
I
missing.
love it.
It's missing a. It's missing a H.
An H.
No, look. We moved the H from the third word to the second word, or the first word.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants an extra H.
Yeah.
Artie's trying to buy a consonant.
Here's the inside. So check this out.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Is that The Simpsons? What is that?
No, it goes inside. It goes inside here.
Nice.
See, there's your structures already for the golden spikes. See, you're already.
Well, I wish I could claim this, but my friend did this one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's what I
Don't tell
plan to do.
anybody.
Yeah. You see, yeah, don't tell him. Shut your mouth.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Now I did add a light to it. There we go.
Yeah, well, it's going to have its lights made inside this. I've got the lights here for it. Micro light. I've got the micro lights for it, and I've also done the cattle pen. The cattle pen's done now. I'll keep dashed it.
All right. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see the inside or not, but
I see a
There you go.
couch.
Once you light it up, and when you put your camera on it, you'd be amazed at how much you'll actually see inside the building. Because
Yeah.
you're taking all the photo shots and that, it'll actually stand out.
Is that going to go in Wiener?
It is going in Wiener. Now, I did do this one here.
Jumping up another interview with executive producer Fran McKay, and later we have an exclusive sneak peek of next week's episode.
Okay, so my same friend did this for me. This is completely scratch built.
Oh, no.
Welcome to.
Wiener.
Now, here's the
You
funny
put that
thing.
on the corner of your bed? What do you do with that?
If you go to Google, you'll actually see this sign
Lord have mercy.
in the actual town.
The town full of dicks.
Yeah.
I'm telling
Already-
you. Sausage.
You can go to Goodwill and see Jason's Wiener.
Yeah, there you go. Now, the one thing I did do is on this building here, I took the light and put the Woodland Scenic ones on it. Yeah, there we go.
Look
I
good.
blew mine up.
How'd you blow it up?
My lights.
Oh, okay.
I didn't put it in a volt reducer, did I? And it all shorted out, and
Melt it.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. So
The only
those,
other thing I want to do on this one is take this barber pole out. And Miller Engineering actually has an animated one that I want to put on it.
oh
And then
yeah,
maybe
Yeah.
get that light out too. So,
well, this is my Kit Bash cattle pen, stock pen that I made up.
Nice.
is that the Walters one or is that the
That's the lifelike one.
Lifelite? Okay.
Yeah. So what I've done is I've got an unloading ramp to go in the stock cars and the other one for the trucks.
Oh.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I had to reduce space, I had to Kit Bash and shorten it a little bit so I can actually fit it in.
Here's Manny. Hey, Manny.
So it will do. I mean,
What's going on, Manny?
you got to do what you got to do, don't you?
Right.
It looks good.
It's not my TV, so it's going to look good. The razor that I had, the 3mm razor that was going to sit on, it's going to be too high for the stock cars to go next to it. So that's going to be sitting down flush on the board. So now you've seen those lights, Jason, on my station platform.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that you're getting that I've sent in the box to you.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, they're the round ones that are suiting in the back of the scenery. They're not over bright, but you need to have them at least 8 to 9 inches apart. Because if you put them too close together, it'll just over brighten everything.
Okay.
And I've got resistors of that, but I've pinched 3 out of there to put on my station because I didn't have any spare ones. So I pinched 3. So you'll have 7 in the pack. I think that'll be enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, and you got some lanterns in there too. Hang on, excuse us. Close your eyes, Nissie.
Why do they get to keep their eyes open?
I think
I want to see.
oh, that'd be right. When I want to go and find it. Those gooseneck lights. I do have the packet here somewhere.
Don't feel bad. I always lose everything.
You wouldn't believe it. I just cleaned the table up. That's why I can't find nothing.
Well, go buy another one. Then when you put it away, you'll put it
Oh, here they are. I knew they were here somewhere. found them. And
That's what I wish StreamYard would do. Is like you could assign that to someone else. Oh, I see. Nice.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, look,
you got 7 of these coming through. I've got the crappy ones, 3 of the crappy ones, because the LED isn't in the middle of it.
Right.
Right, so I kept the crappy ones, but they're not over bright. They've got the same LEDs as my main street lights.
Okay.
So they're not over bright, and they come with resistors too. And that's from my Chinese supplier that puts everything airmail, not by ship.
Well, I've definitely got some more buildings that I could probably put those on for sure.
Yeah. And they're not over bright. They're not over bright, so because you don't want lights to be too bright on the layout. Because if you have a look at real life lighting, they're only there for illumination. They're not there to replace the sun.
Right.
Makes sense.
No, it makes absolutely well, and that's like if you look at the brightness of the light, with like your own eyes, but you put a camera on it, it's like 10 times brighter with the camera.
Yeah.
So like you have to dim it down even more, and then it's like as soon as you take the camera off, it's like, well, that's barely even on.
Yeah.
But when I look at it, like if I'm sharing it with y'all, how are y'all seeing it with the camera?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But as I said, like if you have, I can't remember most of the United States. I know Europe and Australia does it. Like when you have your light poles, your normal with the wires hanging over the top, you have a look. Normally, you have every second pole has got a light on it. You haven't got every single pole that's got the light. It's every second pole.
Yeah.
Because all it is just giving that little bit of brightness, illumination, just enough to see, but it's not there for you to light up the whole street where it looks like daylight. It's just to give you a bit of illumination. There is a little format that they use where they do subdivision at how far apart they have the actual lights. And the way it happens is they sort of like just crisscross on the ends of each other.
Okay.
But the only time they really use real bright lights is when you're in the main town centre, like in downtown or whatnot. They will use brighter lights down in there for obvious reasons. But residential areas, they're not so well. They're bright, but they're not that. They're just there for the illumination. Otherwise, you'll have light shining in everybody's windows all the time. What is it? Light pollution or something they call it. Sounds stupid, but it's not.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But now I'm going to have fun putting these micro ones.
Jason, do you have a paid version of StreamYard?
No, I do not.
It's like when you have shows like this, it would be so nice to give someone else, a co-host where you guys could bring up chat or bring up the screens or do this,
Well, okay, so StreamYard is now doing StreamYard Teams.
Yeah.
That costs
And
money.
no,
Is that
with the free version, you can add one person
Oh, okay.
to be your co-host.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's a free version of Teams.
Yes.
I got to look in it because I got the paid version now.
Caboose, I'm not bored.
She's listening intensely.
Yeah, I got the paid. I got the paid version, so should be able to have a few other people there.
Ironically, I had a whole bunch of stuff given to me for my streaming.
Nice.
Not model railroading stuff, it's all audio visual stuff.
Sweet.
Nice.
I don't know exactly where and how I'm going to hook all this up. But
I tell
I
you
did get a camera, which I'm going to put right here in the corner because it's got PTZ or pan tilt.
Oh, that funky camera that does all the stuff.
Yes. So I ended up getting one given to me. So I'm thinking if I put it in this corner, then I can have it either aimed down this wall here or aimed along this one over here.
Nice.
Or he'll end up following Jason around the room, see what he's doing. His wife checking up on him.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm thinking
This is where you could be like, what's he doing?
if I can get 3 more of those, then I should be able to cover the whole layout with 4 cameras. And then one of the things that was given to me, let me grab it real quick and I'll show you.
I just use old cheap iPhones.
There's one thing about Australia, Thomas. One thing about Australia, there's nothing cheap here.
Try to use
It's like
this
Christmas.
Mexico thing, and I can't get this to work.
All right.
Thomas just throws it.
Piece of junk.
So I ended up getting 2 of these. Oh, there we go. Lux
For a
Pro.
microphone?
They're shotgun mics.
Oh, nice.
So I ended up getting 2 in like a really, really fancy kit.
Wow.
So got that. And they're not USB mics either. They're the XLRs. And so with that, he sent me this.
Oh, a little control panel thingy.
Yeah, control panel. So it's a Yamaha MG06, which will only control up to 2 mics, but 2 mics is good enough, right? So that way I can have one over at the studio, and then if I have to come in here to the layout portion, I can have another one set up. Then for the cameras, I got this.
Oh, wow.
So I can have 4 HDMI cameras plugged into this at one time, and then the output plugs into the computer as a webcam.
You're going to be able to have like a concert in your trailer.
I know, right? And then, so this plugs into this.
Nice.
So, and then, yeah, the camera, I have to take it out of the box because it's just a plain white box.
Does Heath know about all this gadgetry that you've
Yes,
got?
he does. He was the first person. He was the very first person I told.
Dun, dun, dun. The
Oh.
Putz camera.
So, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
So, what does he? So, is he considering you as a threat now, or what?
Jeez.
No,
You got a better. You gonna have a better studio than him.
no,
He's
I've
bigger.
only got a bigger studio than he
Bigger,
does.
yeah. Size matters.
That's right.
That's right.
Not always. But in this
Keep
case,
thinking that, Artie.
it does.
Every
Think
day.
it- So now I'm working on post office and milk bar.
Dang, Artie, you're just like cranking these out.
Well, I've got no choice because I got tools down on Tuesday night. I've
With
got to have
surgery.
everything finished. Yeah. So I'm trying to get at least something done. I was hoping to get the pub done, the big room one, but that's not going to happen. So I'm going to use the one that I use as a Hooters bar for now to fill in its place. I am going up to see Creepy on Tuesday morning. There's some stuff that I'm getting from him and I'll be putting to the layout just to fill in some of the empty space. And while I'm there, I might get some trees too. There's a hobby shop up there. I don't feel like driving to Sydney. Sydney is like actually Sydney. It's worse to drive. It's better to drive in LA than what it is to drive around in Sydney.
Ugh.
So if any of you guys ever driven in LA,
No.
it's like worse.
The worst town I have ever driven in is Fort Lauderdale and Miami.
Oh, Miami. Oh, yeah.
So drive on I-4 coming from Orlando to Tampa.
I know.
I was bum puzzled coming into Fort Lauderdale. Well, mainly I think it started like at West Palm Beach. You know, on what is that, I-95?
95. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No.
I thought I was driving fast going 90. And I'm getting blown off right and left.
Oh yeah, no, that's how they drive down here. What I'm talking about is I-4, where you're bumper to bumper, and it takes you 2 hours to get from one exit to another exit that usually takes you 3 minutes. And then people drive in the breakdown lane like that's a regular lane.
Yeah.
You can do that. You can do that in Massachusetts. You can do that in Boston at peak hour.
No, I've been there. Can't do that.
I was there before lockdown, and on the south side of Boston, only if you're going to use the off ramp. There are sections on the freeway where you can actually use the shoulder, use that as the off ramp.
That's a terrifying place. When you come out of Logan Airport and you come out of Logan and you go under the river and you go from like 80 lanes down to like 3 lanes, and everybody's just like 80 miles an hour, like, and I'm sitting there in the van going like this. I couldn't even watch. Holy Moses, that's terrifying.
But see, in Sydney we got tollways. I mean, there's a quick way going around Sydney. You can go to tollways, but it'll cost you $50 just to use the tollway system.
Oh no,
I'm not paying $50, and that's in the car.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What's that? A couple axles
in the truck. Yeah, the truck in a heavy rig, it's even more.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, well, I avoid going to Sydney. I only go to Sydney. My borderline is a suburb called Liverpool, where my Kishula Hobbies is. I only go there if I really have to. And another one up near Creepy's place. Otherwise, I'll just do it via mail. I try to avoid going to Sydney. We all say down here, there needs a bulldozer put through it. And that's been nice. And start again.
Well, one good thing about living in Arkansas, you don't have to worry about a lot of traffic. So that is a perk, but it doesn't prepare you for like the big cities.
Yeah, but do they follow the traffic rules? Like if we pull up to a 4-way stop, people will run the stop sign. They don't give a
No, we have a lot of people that do what we call rolling stops.
Oh, well, that would be much better than literally it's your turn and they're like, well, you weren't, even though you're literally in the middle of the intersection, and they're just like, "Brr."
No, you should see the people trying to figure out the roundabouts.
Oh yeah, I've been honked at. It's like they don't understand it's yield to a point, but if they're coming at the same time you are, you just keep going, and they want it to be a 4-way stop.
No. There was people in the roundabout trying to yield to people coming onto the roundabout.
Oh, that's good.
No, you don't do that.
Yeah,
You
but
don't do that.
I know that.
they don't understand it.
No.
So we've got roundabouts here, like we got roundabouts left, right, and centre here.
They're like multiple lanes, probably.
No, 4 lanes, 3-4 lanes coming into it. Now the general rule is whoever and this will be the same rule over in the US and even in Europe. It's one simple basic rule. It's an international rule.
Don't be
the
an
vehicle
asshole.
that's on the roundabout. The vehicle that's on the roundabout has got the right of way.
Yeah.
Right? Over here, they'll think, oh, yeah, I'm on your right. I have the right of way to fly through the roundabout.
No.
No. Whoever goes in a roundabout first has actually got the right of way. And you've got to use the roundabout as a give way, or you guys call it yield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys call it yield. We call them
So
giveaways here.
basically, all a yield is, Artie, is you're slowing down almost to a stop, but you don't
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, the roundabout's the same principle. You got to be
Now,
prepared to stop.
If you come to the
You
roundabout
got to
and
be prepared.
it's on the inlet, then you can just fly right in if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So
I think
Yeah.
my favorite is the interstate when you're
everybody,
going
you're
on the
on the
on
road.
ramp. You're going up the on ramp, and the person in front of you is doing like 45 miles an hour because they don't understand the concept. They need to get to the flipping speed.
yeah, you're supposed to be at interstate speed by the time you merge.
I feel like you should have a separate driver's license for driving on the highway because holy crap.
Well, you see, in the autobahns in Germany, you actually need to sit for a separate driving lesson and a license to actually
Well, you know the Germans
drive
do
on the
that.
autobahn. And I just tell you, they need.
You know the Germans do that for the Autobahn.
The separate,
that's what
the
he said.
separate license.
Yeah,
You can't get it.
that's what I was just
You
saying.
can't get on the Autobahn. And from my understanding, is that driver's license is very expensive
It is.
to get on.
It is.
To get on the Autobahn, and one mess up can revoke your license. Like if
Yeah.
you're tailgating
Oh, yeah.
or driving in the left-hand lane when it's for passing only, they'll revoke
Yep.
your license. Then you have to go and apply for it again, and it's like uber expensive.
Yeah, down here
yeah.
they just drive with no insurance and no license, and they don't give a crap.
Yeah, we have that too.
Yeah, we've got that here too. Yeah.
My wife has been rear-ended on the interstate years ago in my old truck. And the person that rear-ended her didn't have insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So our insurance had to fix the truck.
Yep.
So over here, you need we call it the third party insurance, which is compulsory, which is basically just your injury insurance. You need to have that before you can register a vehicle. If you don't have that, you cannot register your vehicle.
Yeah.
I know
Damage insurance, that's separate.
Some
A lot of
states,
people-
and I know Texas was one of them. They had to do an annual inspection on the vehicle.
We used to have
Yeah.
that. We used to do
I
that.
have that here every year. Or my vehicle gets inspected every year. LA, over California did the same thing. You get a safety check every year.
Yeah. That was
We
aggravating.
but it's a good idea. I mean, how many vehicles are on the road that are not really roadworthy? They shouldn't
yeah.
even be on.
True.
Doesn't
Look, over here,
California
they'll
do it for
check-
exhaust though? You know, I thought they just did that for your emissions.
Well, that's
Well, they do
exhaust,
that.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not a safety check. I've never seen them do a safety check.
Well, I've only done a safety check once in LA. But mind you, that was an old car too. But look, I go when I'm home in South Carolina, if it's got wheels and exhaust pipe and whatnot and seat belts, you can register it.
Yeah.
Over here, you got to meet a certain standard. If a vehicle doesn't meet that standard, you don't pass you don't get your roadworthy certificate.
I know. We got
Now,
Bondo
Red
and duct tape down here. They don't care.
I see
So-
that.
They get the driver. They get not driver. They get the license plate on it that calls it. It's alluding that it's a collector's item, and I don't remember what it's. But there's some stupid license plate they get on it, like it's a piece of crap, like a jalopy, literally on the road, and I can't think of the word that they. And every time I see it, I'm like, they paid like $150 for this license plate, and it's a piece of crap car because they got the license plate. What is it?
That antique tags.
Yeah, but it's not. It's literally a Florida license plate, and I can't remember what the heck it says on it.
We do have antique cars here too with a special category, but they too need to go for an inspection every year. Every time they renew the registration, you must have a safety certificate. Yeah. And it sucks when they end up telling you need to put seatbelts on because the car never had seatbelts, or you need to put indicators on that car because you need to have indicators. And when you see the young millennials driving these days, they don't know what indicators mean anyway, so what's the point?
But so that's like my buddy who did the building for me. He drives a 53 Chevy.
Yeah.
53 Chevy truck. It has no seat belts.
Yeah, but
Got
that's a solid
all
ass car, though. Whoever hits that is gonna be annihilated.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's his truck. It's
But
a
I'm
truck.
Right, but I'm saying that's a solid piece of machinery.
Yeah.
I'll be back in a minute again and get a paintbrush.
Well, y'all, I'm gonna have to hop off of here. It's almost midnight. I gotta be at work in the morning. So
Jesus, it's
Work.
1 o'clock.
Well, thanks, Jason.
yeah.
What do you mean
You're welcome.
almost midnight? It's almost drinking time, Jason. It's 10 to 5. It's 10 to 5. It's nearly drinking time.
It's drinking time somewhere.
5 o'clock.
Well, that's right. It's
Yeah,
4
it is
o'clock
5 o'clock.
somewhere. It's going to be 4 o'clock. At 10.
Jeez.
What's that, Jason?
I'm not even gonna comment. Get rid of safety. They're talking about bringing back tire checks as part of registration because of the problem. I could see that. I could see that, Caboose.
But see, like even my vehicle with the heavy vehicles, we have. But I mean, it's a good thing. Really, it is a good thing. When I see the state of some of the cars, not just in the US, see, like you go down where Midsummer in Victoria, down in Melbourne, they don't have yearly inspections. The only time you have an inspection is when you put your car up for sale.
Mm.
But they come up here and they have accidents, the brakes don't work, or cars fall apart, they're split in two on impact because they're so full of rust. So I don't mind it. I gotta get some rust coat out of my car soon. Because I sold
Poor
it.
Russ never hurt anything.
Nah. No, but because at work, I park really close. I'm not far from the steel mill, and you have the fallout, so you get that, and also the beach is stone's throw away, so you're getting all the cold air being blown off over the dunes and that, and it lands on the car, so it's not really worth me going out and buying a fancy $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 car when it's just going to get wrecked. Only
Right.
years ago to work and come home, so I got to see. I got to get my. I bought a 73 model LTD in 2018 in the US in Tennessee. It's a 2-door coupe. I paid $200 for it, and that's the thing that I'm going to be doing up to drive around in the US.
Okay.
It's got
All right,
an
boys.
original 305 in it.
We gonna call her a night?
I'm calling it a night. I didn't realize
Yeah.
how late it was.
Yep.
I'm
We just
taxed,
had
but-
3 hours.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having me. Thanks for answering all my
You're
questions.
welcome.
You know, that
Yeah,
guy down there, he can go for some, several more hours. I mean, it's the top of the morning for him.
I know, but I can't.
Afternoon.
I had a 3 a.m. call to go get a coal train, so
Ugh.
Ooh.
and I got grandson duty at 6. So.
Oh, well.
Thank you, Ernie. Thanks, Jason. Thank you, Nissy, for being. I like when other people come on here and they can help with comments.
I had fun.
Somebody
Yeah.
figure out Teams. So
Okay.
Well, we can do a team. I've got unlimited hours on my
Roy.
stream.
Okay.
Well, Thomas, get with Heath because we're trying to figure it out with our STS crew.
Yeah.
So, and he does have a paid version, but I think the freebies can have one other person as a producer with them.
Yeah, I'll
So-
go back. I know that StreamYard's had a show. I'll have to go back and watch that. Cool.
All right.
That would be
Well,
good.
I've got the paid version. I'll have a look and see what we can come up with. And even if I put mine on and someone takes over the show while I'm getting my beauty sleep, we can keep a show going for more than 4 hours.
Sounds
Well,
good
I
to me.
start earlier. You just got to start early, but everybody else, I don't want to step on people who have set times. I really don't want to stomp on their time. So I like doing the after show.
Yeah, I'm the same. But
We should.
see, now's the quiet period.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, you guys. Bye.
Right, guys. Take care.
Roy, thank you. Eric, have a good night. Brad, thank you. Kyle, Jason, appreciate it. Artie, hang in there. Sorry about your rabbit.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah.
It's tough losing a pet. So
Yeah, well, she was my little girl. She's like a child to me, and she'll be home Wednesday night.
yeah,
I've had to
all
come
right.
later, so she'll be home then. But it's just so quiet.
Yeah,
It's just
No,
so
we don't
quiet.
want
Like she'd wait till I go to bed until she starts running around the lounge room like a guard dog. But 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, because I used to get up that time, she'd be doing this Bunny 500 out in the front there, and I'm wondering what on earth are you doing? Now it's just so peaceful and quiet, dead quiet. I haven't been able to get to sleep,
Yeah.
and I don't have
All right, you guys.
the quality control inspector either.
all right. Thanks, Artie. Thanks, Jason.
Right, see, well, I've got my show at 8 o'clock your time, Saturday night.
Yep.
So we're going to join. Right, see you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.